What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
No, we got it through it, guys. We got through it. Last night was rough, I will admit, but we got through it. Appreciate everybody celebrating 6 years on My Cowboys Family. Well, on YouTube here on My Cowboys Family. So appreciate all the celebration yesterday, guys. You guys made it extra memorable, although I don't remember much. Of course, it was a one-time viewing, so if you weren't here,
I think I remember at least the important parts.
Yeah, I remember the beginning. So, guys, we had to, obviously we made it tonight. But it was a close call, I will admit. But, we've been throwing up some shorts today, just kind of chilling, so having a recoup day. So appreciate everybody hanging in there with us tonight here as we finalize the week and get some, this is actually a double week total here for the crown of the Cash App and the sponsor of the week. We shall see who takes over. It feels like it's going to be a takeover. But last week, or the last 2 weeks, we had a takeover by the man. You know why he's here, baby. Snug X.
That's right. Representing on both sides of the board as the sponsor of the week and the Cash App King.
Back to back from Mr. Snug X on that Cash App side of things. And then you got the takeover from Snug X. You got Jason Renfro. Took over the stream balls from Mark Hopesepian there. He has 68 points still remaining. And on the overall board and the Cash App side, it is none other than Jason Renfro. He is repping it on all boards right now. He snuck in there. He went down a little bit to the Lunatic on the Cash App side, but jumped him on last night's stream. And then on the overall board, it was close. He's definitely trying to pull away here. Again, these even count for more, guys. Next Sunday, we got a special raffle. We'll talk about that in a minute to celebrate our 6 years here in MCF. But first, let me give a couple shout-outs to some people who dropped the love here through different ways, right? First and foremost, much love to Dwayne Broussard. Pre-stream drop. $2 holler.
A classic. Go
Pretty sure
Cowboys.
It's always that Go Cowboys from DB, the top dog. Appreciate him. He also had a $2 thanks drop. One of the other ways you can help the channel out. A video that's went live already or a video that's posted. You can still donate through there if you love the video. You want to make your voice extra heard. And, hey, you still get added to the list here. The thanks button is a great way to do that. Dwayne Broussard, thanks button for the Terrence Steele update, which we're going to talk about tonight a little bit. Now, also, you see Jason Renfro, he's there for a reason because he also had another $2.91 drop this afternoon. Tacked along with another dollar holler as well this evening, I guess you can say. So much love to Jason Renfro. Dropped $3.91 in the Cash App over the course of our stream.
Yes.
And then you got memberships, guys. You got much love to the wife back in that membership in that Navy Blue crew. Justin Quarles, the Q man in the silver level too. We got A. Lavelle in the silver level, Marissa in the silver level, and Roy Strasner in that navy blue side of things. So got to shout out to some of these guys for yesterday, some of them today. Appreciate everybody in the navy blue silver star and the over everything level. Now, you see right above there is also the June champion announced. Yes, 35 gifted memberships for the month of June. Skeptical fan, much love to him. He's back to back like our 90s Cowboys. Yes, Skeptical fan. He had 24 in May when we started this thing. 35 more last month. He's the all-time leader right now, the back-to-back guy right now, and the all-time record setter. By the way, he also has 5 gifted memberships already from yesterday. Jason Renfro in second place. He has 1 gifted membership, and the battle begins for this month of July, right to the training camp points. So, again, much love there. And last thing I got to shout out, baby, is the star level. You know the star level. We're going to shout out the star level, even though Eastside Harold dropping that $2 holler, baby. What does Eastside have to say? We know he's a Houston fan.
He said, I heard Fleece Johnson is the biggest Dallas fan.
Who? Fleece Johnson?
I don't know who that is. So, I guess thanks for the $2 holler.
I got to know. Give me at least let me know who that is. Remind me who Fleece Johnson is. So
it sounds like a teddy bear.
I don't
Fleece?
know. He's making a joke about our Cowboys somewhere. You know he does. Eastside, appreciate you. And that J. Lou $2 holler. Enjoy Dalton Schultz and Noah Brown.
Don't be disrespectful to make more jokes about Houston, like kicking a dog when it's down. So
now listen, hey, one of our guys, Israel Mukwamu, is training down there, and we'll talk about him a little bit. Number 24, he's trained down there with Houston, in Houston. Let's put it that way, with a personal, cornerback, defensive back coach. So we'll talk about that as well tonight here, representing a little bit of Houston for Eastside Harold. Let's represent across the globe with Aztec, with that Australian $2 holler. What did Aztec have to say?
He said, "Go Cowboys."
Hell yeah.
MCW, oi oi.
There you go.
So thank you, Aztec. Appreciate you. Much love. Always go Cowboys.
Always.
From every corner of the world.
Every corner of the globe. Guys, well, I'll update Eastside, and I'll put Aztec up there on the overall board. But yes, I just wanted to make sure I shouted everyone out properly. And I don't know if I missed anyone, I think, from yesterday. I think we're good, though.
If we did, let us know, and we'll...
I know where I left it at. The star level. Yeah, the shout-outs. Listen, much love to the silver level, navy blue, but the star get the nightly shout-outs here. And, of course, you guys know the names here. Skeptical. Oh, no, Skeptical Fan is off right now, right? But,
no, he's back.
Oh, he's back. Yeah, Skeptical Fan jumped in there. Instead of Jason Renfro, LC Lincoln came from Australia, and, of course, the great Mary Alvarez. So that's the... Okay, we might be getting Dwayne into that mix here very soon, so we shall see.
All right. So, yes, huge shout-out to
everybody in the star level. Members. Yes. Appreciate you all. Now, baby, we're building this up for next week. We're going to have double raffle going down here. Double raffle for 2 products. One of them is the first place prize for our 6-year anniversary is the sewn and stitched, basically any jersey you want, but it's Dallas Cowboys here. So Dallas Cowboy jersey, a lot of jerseys and players to pick from, new and old, legends. That's the first place prize. The second place prize, we'll show it here in a minute. It's from the man staying skeptical. Skeptical Fan.
Yes.
So
again, huge shout out to Skeptical. But yes,
we'll
in this particular case, guys, if you do want to join, it's a $6 drop. Every $6 gets you an entry, and they do stack. So 666, 3 entries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
okay, you got me scared for a second.
Oh,
yeah.
No. I was trying to be funny there, but anyway, on top of that, membership does have its perks, and no shenanigans there. Sorry, I was trying to. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Yes, if you are in the membership and you are in the raffle as well, you do get additional bonus entries. Navy blue gets 1, silver gets 2, star gets 3 bonus entries. So
everybody has a little bit of advantage. We've got today and, of course, all the way up to Saturday night. And then we're going to have our raffle on July 9th. Brace yourselves, guys. We're going to have 2 big winners here on MCF. Can't wait to see who they are. And how, outside of the super chats, the memberships, the membership gift giving, the thanks button, there's also 4 other ways to help the channel out.
Yes, of course. You have the Cash App, money sign MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at my-Cowboys-Family, your traditional PayPal link, and last but not least, Streamlabs lets your comment show up right on screen, just like a super chat.
You know how to do it, guys. Appreciate everybody here. Good luck to everybody in the raffle. We had a lot of raffle entries yesterday. Keep that in mind. So people are building the raffle, unlimited amounts. I know Jason Renfro right now got the lead. A lot of people in this thing, though. A lot of people can win either of these top 2 prizes. And again, we'll show it here when we put the cameras on. Lights, camera, action here in about 5 minutes. But first, let's do the shout-outs, baby. Who's in the house tonight with us for another Cowboys chat to finalize the last 2 weeks and get a winner, a champion. See who's going to take the crown and the baton from Snug X.
I guess we do have to shout out Leaside Herald once more.
No, another one, huh?
He did drop.
Or 2, I should say.
A $2 holler there saying, you losers have been here for 6 years.
6 years.
Congratulations.
6 years we've been here, and you've been following every second of us.
I was going to say, you've been here for all 6 of them. So
he does love MCF. He is an MCFer, even with the hate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
He still loves to hate us. Because he ain't us, right?
We know what you're about, Leaside.
He
so
ain't
it's all
us.
good.
That's why. Anyways.
That's why we all get along so well, right? Oh, cracking up. But sorry about that. Just making jokes here, of course.
Well, we just made a joke called Eastside Herald right there, right? So
I think the jokes make themselves there. But okay.
Houston Texans, case closed. That's it. You got the joke right there. So outside of Eastside,
guys, in case you weren't here for yesterday's one-time viewing only live stream, we are celebrating 6 years of official MCF
Actually,
here.
Now it's 7. In our 7th year officially, guys. We're going for 6 and beyond. And that's what Cowboys need to get going, right, Eastside? We agree there, Eastside. Cowboys need to get that 6 and beyond. We got that 6, and we're beyond right now. So
yes,
let's go Cowboys.
Now let me go ahead and do the shout-outs here in the chat, and then we're going to touch on 1 or 2 things here before we turn the camera on and then get rolling for the rest of the night. So Stephen White, shout-out to you. Thanks for being here. Rolando Rodriguez all the way from South Texas. There's Leaside Herald, of course, representing... talking about his favorite football team, the Cowboys. Eric Wallace, what's up? Much love. Mike Aldana in the house. Of course, we have Aztec. Hello and hi. Bama fan, much love to you. Remy Solis representing. Spoony Dog, what's up? We have Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself. Cowboys Abroad, the man formerly from Japan.
Man,
a quick hello
good to see him. Good to see him in the house.
And of course, the lovely Mrs. Abroad, Yumi.
Yes, Yumi in the house.
Hope you guys are having a good time. Stay safe. We have Landlord from Wakanda in the house as well. What's up, Freedom First? Kevin Bilbo, much love to you as well. But baby, I think that's everyone here so far.
Right.
So
right on cue, baby. Lights, camera, action.
There you go.
We're a Skeptical fan. We're repping his uniform
Yes,
here.
we are.
And you got yours there, Skeptical style.
Skeptical today, right?
We're always staying skeptical. We're actually trying to stay, from being so hungover as we were over this whole day, really. So
a lot of effort to get to this point, but we got
a lot of liquids, right? A lot of liquids, a lot of water. So again, cheers to everybody for the 6 years. Now we're on year 7. It's time to get back to business. Now, some people who are not returning to their hobbies or jobs. Unfortunately, about 20 on-air personalities for ESPN. This happened yesterday. And they got fired, guys. And again, this is interesting because to me it tells you where the landscape is when it comes to sports media. Maybe it's not just all just getting the big name and putting them on the screen and letting talking heads talk. It may be maybe things like YouTube, content creators that bring, whether it's us or others, I'm just not even saying we're the ones, but I'm saying that it's just the people want local content that's relative to their team or their sports, and you can find that anywhere. There's a million channels. You can pick the best ones you like and follow them. That is taking some viewership, I believe, away from the money that ESPN is spending on a lot of these on-air personalities and well-known people here as well, guys. Some people are legendary. People have been on here for years and years. 20 people. And again, ESPN let go of Susie Colbert, who's a well-known, she's done a lot of different sports and been all over in the front desk, the whole thing. Susie Colbert, Steve Young, Max Kellerman, Keyshawn Johnson, Jeff Van Gundy, Jalen Rose, Todd McShay, Matt Hasselbeck, David Pollock, Ashley Brewer, June Lee, LaFonso Ellis, Nick Friedel, Jordan Cornette, and Jason Fitz. Those are the people right now. 15 people fired from ESPN, and they're hoping to save. ESPN wants to save tens of millions of dollars. That's what they're going to end up saving by releasing
cutting these people. They don't have to pay
these
people anymore.
Yep, and that's the thing, guys. Sources close to the situation with ESPN, basically they're saying that there's a lot of more high-profile personalities from the NFL, NBA, and ESPN Radio that have been informed that they're going to be losing their jobs as well. Some of these guys I just mentioned, like Keyshawn Johnson,
I mean, I have to
they lost their radio jobs too.
Quite a few names there surprised me and caught me off guard. It wasn't just like, rando,
randos.
Yeah, these are people who have been associated,
ESPN.
That's what I'm saying. Some of these
ESPN
people, you can't not associate them with their shows or with their work with ESPN.
Yep, it's all connected. You know them from there. So, again, Disney, of course, owns ESPN. These are the recent wave of layoffs. And it was rumored that, that no one was limited. No one was safe from these cuts, not a person.
Clearly.
And, again, it played out that way, it seems, right? But there's also other guys that are still other people are going to stay there. Joe Buck still on board. Scott Van Pelt still there. Stephen A. Smith, he's still there in ESPN. So these guys are reportedly safe with their jobs, even though they get a lot of money in there.
Which makes sense just because even I admit that they are spearheading some of the more watched and popular programming that is still on ESPN.
kind of front and center on some of those things, like Scott Van Pelt, of course, Stephen A. Smith. So, again, a lot of these guys, when they say talent, on-air talent, it's basically former players that have some knowledge of the game, but they're just talking heads on there, giving their 2 cents on things. And they're getting paid a lot of money, as we talked about. That's why they're trying to save a lot of money by cutting a lot of these big-name guys and people here. So, again, the impact, we'll see what happens. The programming for the future for sports and programming, it's interesting where it's going. That's why I kind of mentioned this. Even other outlets are saying, this does kind of define things when it comes to, digital services, whether it's, live streaming or content creation.
It's one thing for YouTube to be YouTube, but I do think it's a very different thing now that we have big, heavy-hitting media companies saying we're shifting away from traditional TV and we're focusing more on creating either online content or just, again, it just shows a big shift in their mindset, right? I mean, I think most of us are done with we obviously call them the 4-letter networks, right? The 3-letter networks, however many letters they try to stick in there, right? 5, 17, who cares? The point is, people do want what they feel like is genuine, real, news and information, and not just bullshit or clickbait or whatever.
Yeah, and not just the straight up, just overall the narratives that they want to push instead of the reality of things.
I think that the other thing that's missing from that, and you can see it reflected here too, is the people we want to hear the news from has also changed. There's nothing wrong with these broadcasters or reporters and stuff, but for example, I see a lot more NFL players, if they're willing to put themselves out there in a media way, imagine if Tom Brady had his own show on ESPN arguing about quarterbacks or football. Or like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I think that you could easily take the branding of a football star, just a sports star, and incorporate it into that easily.
Yeah, no, I can see the... I mean, you can get that going.
The personal appeal and connection that people have with these people watching the shows, and not just like, oh... It's not just a trusted source. It's someone you're liking, you're into, they're from your team, you know what I mean?
But, that's the thing, though. For ESPN, it seems to they're either going to just kind of start new with new guys and just recycle them, get them through the system, or they're going to kind of take another kind of cut at this here. Maybe more online stuff.
True.
Like truly online, not any more TV stuff. Even if right now they did that. They have guys that we all know and love from sports, and it ain't cutting it. They're cutting. They're getting fired and they're getting cut. So
because they're just taking those guys and sticking them into their same old media stuff. That's why I said it has to be both. They have to find the right personalities, but they also have to find that shift away from the kind of clickbait stuff to get caught up in.
I agree. And you see that all the time out there. All these people talking dumb-ish out there sometimes, and it's just annoying to hear it. But it happens in content creating, too. It has clickbait, too. So people got to decipher their own kind of news. Unfortunately, it's not really a unified situation. So, I think it is a good thing to right now, at least sports news, I think it's directing a little bit more to the online content creating services. That I'm not saying it's going to go all full out that way. I'm saying it's done enough where the big networks kind of don't have to dish out that much money. It's not going to make that difference that it used to make when it gets, in terms of paying a name, a big salary. But you got people still staying on there. I think Troy Aikman's still there. I mean, he's still a name, right? So you got names still connect to that. So, look, we'll see how this thing goes. I just thought it was an interesting kind of switch, maybe in the market, TV market there, just the way ESPN's going, for example. Now, let's get back to football here, unless somebody has something to say about it. I don't know in the chat.
No, we're all good. So, what's up? I love weed. But Mike Cardano said Disney told ESPN we pay the bills.
They in the end they do have the last say. So Disney, ESPN, whoever, they're seeing a change in the system, the market. Who knows? Look, football wise, we know as long as there's no gambling issues that people don't understand. I hear people out there complaining about the gambling. They're getting these big penalties. Trust me, they got to do it. It's the right thing. If not, one thing that's the only thing that could bring down the NFL, in my opinion, would be a scandal. So. Going back to the NFL, and this is not about gambling. This is just about an unfortunate story here from former Denver Broncos defensive lineman and WWE star Darren Drozdov. He was involved in a tragic wrestling accident in the ring. When he was working with WWE in 1999, it rendered him a quadriplegic, unfortunately. And he passed away this morning at 54 years old. The family setting up a scholarship fund for athletes at his alma mater there at Oak Crest High School in New Jersey. So again, just a little side note. I don't know if anybody really knows him. If you do, send your thoughts that way. And again, the Bronco, but nonetheless, still a football family, right? Now for the Cowboys, yesterday, I guess now today's 24 days. Israel Mukuamu. That's how many days? 24 guys before the Cowboys kick off their first day of Oxnard training camp practice, July 24th. So we are 24 days away, guys, and I am excited about that. I'm hoping it just flies by. So we got about a little more than 3 weeks before we start to see at least a week of the players walking around at camp, and we're doing some walkthroughs. And then on July 31st, boom, the hitting starts. Can't wait. Now, as far as our roster, we got 2 open spots still. 88 spots filled, 2 spots open. The 90-man roster. Mm-hmm. Yesterday concluded the USFL's official season end. Right, it was official end of their season. And because the USFL ended yesterday, guys, now the list of players are now available to the NFL, so to speak. The players that are willing or available
so all the teams
from the
that
USFL.
had their eye on any handful of USFL players, now is the time where they can actually start to make moves towards them if they want to. And
that's NFL teams to the USFL players. Last year, now it wasn't at this time, it was when we kicked off training camp already, but we picked up, through Will McClay, we picked up the Cavante Turpin from the USFL, right? So
that guy.
Yeah, he joined us last year in Dallas about a month away from now, more or less. And according to the Cowboys, Michael Gelkin and others, and us, I'll include us in this because we've been saying this, they are looking at a kicker from the USFL. Now, I know we've said XFL and we've talked about Mason Crosby's and Robbie Golds and all that stuff, but I've been saying this for a while. It's going to be a USFL kicker. And
I'm not a fan. I still stand by that.
I'm not a big fan either, but that's the way the Cowboys seem to want to go to compete with Tristan Vizcaino, our current kicker, our only kicker on our roster. And right now, according to Michael Gelkin, the guy we're looking at is the guy I've been talking about for months here, Luis Aguilar, from the Philadelphia Stars, I think they are. I'm not sure. Anyways, the point is, Luis Aguilar, and I talked about him before, guys. To me, he's the best option. If you got to pick it, I'm not crazy about any USFL guys. You got to pick one. Luis Aguilar, to me, is the best one. Listen, he played in Philly, so we're going to let that go, all right? But he could come in and really help settle the Cowboy kicking issues if he can beat out Tristan Vizcaino, assuming he's even the guy. I'm throwing his name out there because I believe he's the best guy, and now I'm hearing Cowboys front office is looking at Luis Aguilar. So it looks like it might match up. I'm going to reiterate some things I've talked about in the past about him because he played dual roles as a kicker and a punter. So, look, I don't know about Brian Anger. We're good at Brian Anger. But what if something happens? What if, next year, let's say we get Luis Aguilar who can kick field goals, but let's say we move on from Anger. Now, Aguilar can do both roles, punting and kicking. Not sure if we want to do that, but I'm just saying he can do that.
It's more about we could basically use him as a kicker and then transition him into.
Well, he's already a punter. He's already a punter and a kicker. It's more about if we move on from Anger, does he do both roles? Does he get too tired when he has to kick a field goal? I don't know. Look, I think he can do it. We can save a roster spot. But the point is, Brian Anger, he's good to go this year, so we don't need him for punter. So Aguilar can do both. Aguilar also, of course, would battle Tristan Vizcaino. And so Anger's locked up the spot this year, Pro Bowler and all, right? Vizcaino, we know he's a bridge player, a guy who's right now the current, just the placeholder at the kicker position. Aguilar finished the year with a lot of success with the Philadelphia Stars in USFL. He hit 25 of his 29 field goal attempts, and he made 19 of his 20 extra points. I'm pretty sure the 2 blocks came from 40 to 49 yards, and the other 2 misses and field goals came from 50-plus yards. So it was not like anything crazy he missed, anything short.
Yeah.
Extra point, I think the one he missed was blocked as well. Now, he was a perfect 16 for 16 from under 40 yards, as I just mentioned here, guys. And he showed range. He hit a 56-yard was his long. I'm pretty sure it was a game winner, too. So, again, I think that Luis Aguilar would be the guy to kind of keep your eyes open for. I heard a lot of things already from the Cowboys side of things. I've been talking about this guy, Luis Aguilar.
You brought him up for the first time a few weeks ago.
I think a month ago, maybe months ago, because we brought up the USFL kicker list.
True.
That was about a month and a half ago. So, Luis Aguilar.
It was one of the first comments that Steven made when he was asked about the kicking
what's going on
situation.
with kicker? And that Luis Aguilar player, I think that he is the best. I'm not saying I'm crazy about him being with the Cowboys, but he'd be the one I'd be happiest with from the USFL to battle Tristan Vizcaino.
Yeah, and as far as matching up with the things that Steven said,
sounds
Aguilar
like it could happen.
go to the top of the list.
Well, he is the best guy of the USFL, without my opinion, and I think he's by far the best kicker from the USFL. But again, does that make him a good kicker in the NFL? We'll have to try him out and see if we sign him.
For our sake, let's hope so.
If we sign him. Speaking of signing, this guy, Ezekiel Elliott, you see in the title, you see a little X on him, and you see a little question mark on him. There's a reason, because we don't know what is going on with Zeke. We need an update on Zeke.
Yeah, we kind of keep hearing, I guess, different things, right? But at least Jerry himself was the one who left the door possibly open when it came to Zeke rejoining the Cowboys.
And so now we're hearing from Jane Slater, which everybody knows. They're the NFL Network, but Cowboy reporter. According to her, guys, the Cowboys are not interested. They're not. That's why the X is on them. Cowboys are not interested in bringing Ezekiel Elliott back to the Cowboys. That's according to Jane Slater. So, again, that's just one NFL insider. Keep that in mind. But right now, it doesn't seem like he's part of the plan for the Cowboys to come back. Now, this is comments from her, from Jane Slater earlier this week.
Okay.
And she said this. Quite frankly, they're just not talking about it, meaning Zeke going to the Cowboys. Okay. Quote, it would require an injury to one of our running backs. End quote. And as much as I know a lot of the guys in the locker room would love to have Ezekiel Elliott back to the team, it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of smoke here. That's per Jane Slater.
Okay.
And multiple times she reiterated basically the Cowboys are happy with our running backs that we have currently.
I was just about to say something else to consider there is the fact that if they're saying, no, we like who we have now, I kind of mentioned this back when we talked about our Pollard discussion a little more in depth. Who ends up being more of our power back? And we kind of went through the list, but I kind of said it. I'm like, I could see the Cowboys keeping basically every single one of these guys for a different reason or another.
When we say these guys, let's clarify. It's, of course, Tony Pollard.
Of course.
You got Ronald Jones. who's like more the power guy right now. And you got Malik Davis, who's kind of like the Pollard replacement, I guess you can say for now. He'd be our starting running back, I think.
Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn, of course. He's in as a utility third down back. I think red zone kind of passing receiver kind of out of the backfield. I would love that. You got also, don't forget Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle in there, right? Does return stuff, but looked really good. He's at the hip thing, him 2 years in a row. Can he stay healthy this year? Tyler Lipke. He's a guy from North Dakota State that we picked up undrafted, a fullback, but can do running back, can do receiving, can do tight end. So, jack of all trades. He has a chance to make this team. So these are the names we're looking at, and there's a couple others. These are the main names we're looking at as we enter 2023, enter training camp. Zeke is not part of those plans as of now. So I just wanted to go over that, make sure we clarify that. Now Dak has been vocal about loving to have Zeke back on the team. He said it multiple times, and Slater mentioned the Cowboys are happy with they're confident with the current setup with the Cowboy running backs. So again, Pollard's the primary back. They're going to use Deuce Vaughn, like you said, Malik Davis, Rico, Dowdle, of course, Hunter Lipke, and others in the mix here. So they're going to be competing this. Unless one of these guys get hurt, there's no way the Cowboys are even looking at Zeke, at least per Jane Slater. So again, just throwing it out there. I don't know if anybody has thoughts on this.
I guess I am a little bit surprised that the Cowboys seem like that 100% firm, ready to go and move on from Zeke. Him, only because, again, no one even asked Jerry. Jerry was the one that basically volunteered that Zeke information. So that's what made me believe, okay, maybe there's more to it. Now, what Jerry felt and believed even 2-3 months ago obviously could have changed a lot, especially after the draft. So on one hand, I don't necessarily think Jerry was lying. Maybe at that time, they were still considering it. Something changed between maybe then and now. Well, and now we're at a point where that's what makes me think it was the draft. And I think the Cowboys had even mentioned, if I'm recalling, that they weren't even going to consider anything until after the draft. I think it was that Zeke supposedly wasn't going to consider
it's a draft until after the draft. I don't think it's a draft because we picked up Deuce Vaughn, who's not a comparable to Zeke.
I agree.
And then we picked up Tyler Lipke, who is a fullback. Okay, he's maybe comparable to Zeke. We're going with an undrafted guy to replace Zeke. So they feel comfortable with these guys. I mean, that's up to the Cowboys.
Maybe it's more of a strategy thing when it comes to the draft in the sense of it has less to do with, Deuce Vaughn on a personal level or a player level and more in the sense that we're going to pursue a different direction at running back and we just weren't sure which way the chips would fall. Now that it went this way, we're going to keep pursuing this particular path. You know what I mean? Instead of going more of a free agent side of things.
If Pollard goes down, that's when Malik Davis got to step up now, be the number one. And Rico Dowdle, I don't know, will he'll be on this? You got Ronald Jones have to play probably more snaps as a power guy. And with Lipke, possibly if he's on the team, Deuce Vaughn as a third down specialist. Everyone gets more snaps if Pollard goes down. And number one being Malik Davis, number two being Ronald Jones, and number three being Deuce Vaughn. There's probably a three-headed monster if Pollard goes down. They'll still use these other guys. They'll still use Ronald Jones, but 10% instead of 25% of the time. They still use Deuce Vaughn 10% of the time. Instead of 25% if something happens to Tony Pollard. I think that's what we're going to see. And you get 50% of Malik Davis. I don't know. That's just my guess.
And Jason
if
Renfro,
Pollard goes down.
Thank you so much for that,
yes,
too.
Mr. Renfro.
Dollar Holly.
The man leading the pack, by the way. Coming for that sponsor of the week. Coming for that Cash App crown in 65 points on that stream boss. How does he get down?
And by the way, yes, the drawing is next Sunday.
Yes.
Again, since we missed more live streams than we intended this week, and we're anticipating having to miss more than we would like to this upcoming week. We just thought that was the more fair thing to do, since that obviously wasn't necessarily our original plan. But of course, all the drops from yesterday's stream and everything else.
Yeah, we got it all tallied
Jason,
up.
I think you're in
He's in first place, lead. And we got let's show him. I don't know, Skeptical's in the house, but let's show. That first place, it's a shirt, right? It's the jersey. I'm sorry. And let me just throw it back up here in a minute here. Before you show that, let me just remind everybody that 6 years of MCF means a raffle. $6 every 6 you drop. That's another raffle entry. If you're in the membership and you drop 6, you get bonus raffle entries. You get 1, navy blue. You get 2 in the silver, and you get 3 in that star level. So again, that's how you can just keep stacking them. We count these from last week, from the beginning of this week to the end of next week. Well, to the end of Saturday, I guess, and then we'll have a raffle on Sunday, July 9th. Now, baby, that's first place is this prize here. Fantastic, sewn and stitched. We have like 30 of these jerseys. You got about 30 different names to pick from. But we also have to show you the second place prize brought to you by, brought to you by First place is by us here, Cowboy Mosh. Second place is this wonderful shirt. Cowboys representation. Oh, you grabbed
I
pulled it a little bit.
I know, sorry.
Tippy toe on your fingers.
Not really, but just, there you go.
Go this way. Wait, no, the other way. There you go. Boom. Cowboys. This is a fine quality material here from Mr. Skeptical Fan. Second place bonus. Hey, we weren't going to have a second place prize, but hey, appreciate Skeptical Fan adding to the winnings here for you guys to get I guess you could say a consolation prize for second place. But first place gets that Sony Stitch jersey. And we got a nice little list here of people with a lot of different entries. Good luck to all who's involved in that. Just throwing it out there.
And thank you again, Skeptical Fan.
Yes.
Real quick.
And Jason Renfro with that $2 holiday.
Thank you, Cowboys Abroad. Appreciate that.
Mr.
Much
Abroad
love. Again, Cowboys Abroad is one of the original hundreds. Right?
These are the OGs. We were in...
please give our love to Yumi as well.
Yes. Tens of digits.
I have to read Simus's comment because
Simus
he said...
in the house.
Yes. First of all, shout out to Simus says, if you guys aren't already subbed up, you're doing it wrong here on the Cowboys content creation, circuit of things. But he said, unpopular opinion, Vaughn might not make the starting roster.
Well, when you say the starting 53, I'm assuming that Simus is talking about the 53. That would be interesting because I think if they... Here's the thing. I don't know if he's going to earn that spot or not. I'm with Simus. He might not even have the room to fill. I just named you 6 running backs, right? And they're not going to keep them all, trust me. So... But here's the thing I'm trying to say, baby.
I know. Just you remember my controversial opinion before.
If the Cowboys cut Deuce Vaughn trying to get him back on the practice squad, he will not. He will be picked up by somebody. I guess is my guess. I can't be sure, but I also think the Cowboys are purposely trying to use him a lot heavier than maybe would use a first year guy. Is it because of his dad, Chris Vaughn? I don't know, but I think that. You have to look at Rico Dowdle, Tyler Lipke. These guys are probably at the bottom of the list, and they like Deuce Vaughn right now. Mm-hmm. But that's that again. I understand why you can think that way because Deuce Vaughn's got to show us something. He's 5'5", 175.
What I had said?
Yeah, I know.
To me, it kind of came. Yeah, I was gonna say there's only room for one. Pardon of my language, tiny person. I was going to say something
Speaking
else.
as a tiny person.
But yes, there's only room for one tiny person on this team, and it's either Turpin or Vaughn. And right now, based on the comments made by our front office and Dak, which is the more surprising part, like Dak's giving lots of praise to Deuce Vaughn and stuff, but the way that he talks about getting Turpin involved in the offense does set off little alarm bells in my head. But then I get kind of pissed off thinking, well, we just took a 5th round pick and basically flushed it
the 6th
round pick and flushed it down the toilet, which 6th round pick, okay, I guess you're taking a chance. But I do think people are putting a little bit more weight onto Vaughn.
I agree. You talked about this off camera that there's too much hype for Deuce Vaughn. So Simus and the wife on the same page on that.
Outside of that, the only way I see it working is if we have some kind of a 3-back setup. It can't be the Pollard and Deuce Vaughn show. It's got to be the Pollard and Davis and Deuce Vaughn show. Just to give you a random example.
With Pollard, I think Pollard will be the starter, of course, taking 75% of snaps. But I think short yardage, you get Ronald Jones or Lipke. I think you get, for those third downs, you want to throw that ball and you want to get that third down scat back guy. You bring in Deuce Vaughn possibly, I think. But that's the thing. I think Dak has said good things about both guys. I think McCarthy has said good things about both guys. And we've seen the only thing I've seen from these, and it doesn't mean much, guys, let's be real, but mandatory minicamp and OTAs, the one thing we've seen the Cowboys working, maybe they're trying to figure out if they need him for this, but they've tried Turpin at receiver, but they're working Deuce Vaughn on red zone, inside the 20.
Yes.
And that's something we know for sure. And they're not running the ball. They're throwing the ball to him. So something to keep in mind.
Actually basically said exactly what I just said, that he does think that Vaughn will make the team and that he'll be the third back behind Pollard and Davis.
Right. I mean, Pollard, Davis, Vaughn would be the 3, I think. I think Ronald Jones makes it too. Or him or Lipke. One of them make it because they need who's the big guy? Who's the guy carrying the load? It's got to be Ronald Jones. It's got to be Lipke. It's got to be somebody that can do the short yardage thing. Because right now, Pollard, he'll get broken down if you do short yardage. And Malik Davis, again, really? I'm not sure about him, and definitely not Deuce Vaughn.
So then it's Pollard, blank, and Vaughn. The RB2 to be determined. I think there'll be 3. I
think there'll be 4 guys on there, especially if one of them special teams more special team style. But I don't know. This is gonna be interesting.
Let's see, again,
we'll know in training camp much more.
I know, but replacing Ezekiel Elliott with the equivalent of 3 roster spots hurts me somewhere deep in my soul. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to say. If you get one of these guys on special teams, or at least getting some good use, whether it's coverage or something else on special teams, I think you could get sneak 4 running backs in here. But you need to have a short yardage guy. We're screwed on short yardage. What's the chat saying? Simon's bringing up a great point.
Let me hit up the chat.
Cowboys abroad, much love to you, sir.
So, and
by
the way, guys,
going. I love
obviously, in case we weren't around during the time, we did have a little YouTube situation. So, a lot of our members, unfortunately, are no longer members. So, if you do want to double check and make sure you are in the membership, especially now is a great time to do it with the raffle and all. But let me hit up the chat.
It's all reset now, so you guys
Simon said just Vaughn is overhyped. I mean,
you've been screaming that for a while. You've been actually behind the scenes, and even though I agree with the hype, I think he has value on the team. But I agree he's being overhyped. I think he can still make the team. I think he has value, but he is being overhyped. I still want to see how McCarthy wants to use him.
At least he might possibly have more than Fehoko, and I'm sorry to say it.
Simi Fehoko, but that's a different position, right?
I'm talking about the most overhyped players on this team right now, okay?
Because he's been ranked number 1. Number 2, Bruce Vaughn.
That's what I'm saying. They're duking it out right now for most overhyped.
But we know that Simi's been a little bit shitty.
See, Mike Aldana said running back by committee. That's genuinely where I think this is going to go outside of the Pollard is the all-around type of guy, right? Because remember, Pollard's not just going to be running back. Right? He's not just going to be running the ball, right? We're expecting him to get involved in the receiving game.
Definitely receiving game, but if he gets 90% of snaps, we're fucked. That's a bad move. Pardon my French. That's why I agree with running back by committee, but we need to get still Pollard a majority of these snaps. And I don't mean those short yardage stuff. Maybe in the red zone you use Deuce Vaughn. A short yardage you use Ronald Jones. And you use Malik Davis as the backup to Tony Pollard. That to me would be the right move. If something happens to Tony Pollard, so Pollard gets used, right? Let's say he gets 75% from Pollard, and you split the other 2 things with Ronald Jones and Deuce Vaughn. Now, if Tony Pollard goes down, Malik Davis then goes as the instead of getting 75% of snaps, he gets 50% of the snaps. And then you got 25 to go Ronald Jones, 25 to Deuce Vaughn. That's what I think happens if he goes down.
Dip said Ronald will make it.
I agree.
Stephen White said jumbo set, micro set, but Hunter is the key.
Again, that's going to be a battle. Ronald Jones and Tyler Lipke. That's going to be a battle.
Who's the 4th guy between Rico and Ronald Jones? Said Cowboys.
Rico might be the guy out. He might not make the team, Rico Dowdle. I think Malik Davis, to me, I know the Cowboy coaching staff might have a little issue with his attitude after the San Francisco game. I don't blame him. But the point is, Malik Davis, to me, is more skilled, more healthy than a Rico Dowdle. I don't trust Rico Dowdle anymore. I just can't after injuries 2 years in a row with the hip.
See, Splenda Papi said Dallas run game was down. They needed more than just the 2 running backs that we had.
But we never, after Pollard went out, we never fucking used Malik Davis. He not going to carry that game. They used Zeke the whole game and slowed our ass down. That's like using Ronald Jones the rest of the game. You can forget about the run game. You need somebody that can get a little spark. I think Malik Davis would have given us some more spark than anybody else in that roster last year. We barely used him in that game after Pollard went down.
But it also, again, adds more weight to why do the Cowboys love Vaughn so much?
He's a third down scat back.
I know, but he also gives us the one thing that we didn't have when Pollard went down, which was, I think, that kind of shifty, speed, quick, you know what I mean? Like, Zeke had a lot of power, but he just did not have that same speed anymore.
And that's what you say, is Turpin taking that role-ish kind of situation? He might come in as a flanker back or something and that's it. He can use him instead of Deuce Vaughn.
This is where, Bones' opinion might weigh in a little bit more in the sense of, are they going to be sharing the load? Is it going to be just one guy now, one guy later? Is it going to be a battle to the death over special teams to figure out which one of these guys gets it? So, I'm assuming there's going to be some level of competition between both of these guys, just because to me it feels not only inevitable, but the smart thing for the Cowboys to do, right? Competition is a good thing, especially in training camp. So
let's hear the chat. What are they saying here as we wrap up the running back stuff?
Abandon the run game. Yeah, he wouldn't know a run game if it broke into his house in the middle of the night.
And then he had his running back be the center.
Yeah, so Jason feels like it'd also be a waste of a pick.
Of Deuce Vaughn.
Basically,
I agree with him, because that's the thing you were saying. Like, why would you pick Deuce Vaughn without having a plan for him ready? Like, you have to know how you kind of want to use him.
You're so excited, and yes,
there's
obviously,
other guys
we know his dad is on the staff.
But there's other guys out there. There was about 12 other running backs that could have been the Zeke replacement. We went Deuce Vaughn. Why? There's a reason for that. Speed, and in open space, you want his movement, his ability to break ankles. That's why I'm looking
at the parallels between him and Pollard, especially because, remember, this is a real interesting thing, one of the more interesting things that hasn't really been talked about, but apparently Pollard is amenable and open to a multi-year deal with the Cowboys, and the Cowboys sound like they're also open and amenable to that.
That's
in
what
a
they're
way,
saying.
I'm just saying, like, in a way that we had never even heard any word of this, and then all of a sudden we're hearing that both sides are open to sit down and negotiate. To me, that does show, you know, some kind of, like you said, it does show that the Cowboys have something in
some
mind.
value.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Pollard and Vaughn are not so much a package deal, but they I don't know. McCarthy has something cooking for both of them offensively when it comes to what he wants to do.
I agree with Deuce Vaughn, definitely something for him, and Turpin trying to get him involved in the offense as a receiver. Those two things are keys to see in training camp. What comes of that? I'm looking forward to the battle.
And yeah, Brandon Katz, look, 9.5 wins definitely feels disrespectful. But
well, let's beat it though. Let's not. I want to see the Cowboys get 25 wins. Let's
not
destroy
to be that person either. But the Cowboys seem to do better when we're disrespected.
Yeah, let them disrespect us.
When
That's
we're
all right.
hyped up. So, but back to you, baby.
All right. I don't know if anybody had any comments on the running backs. And nothing else on the running backs in the chat.
I think we're good.
Okay. All right. I'll keep it moving here then, because we go to our receivers. And to me, again, we talk about CeeDee Lamb working hard. He's back from that injury that happened against Mukwamu in minicamp. So he's out there doing his workout. We have the video posted in our shorts. But I want to bring up another guy here. Two guys, actually. The mentoring by this guy, Brandon Cooks, to this guy, Jalen Tolbert. That, to me, is something that's been something. We've talked about this when he first got traded to us. We're like, well, he would help the whole room, the receiver room. Then we hear they're hanging out, they're doing stuff. They're boxing. Yes, they're boxing, guys. Where, I guess it must be a great connection with Micah, because Micah's boxing area with, he's boxing with Osa and other guys, Chauncey Golston. You got Dan Quinn in there and Aiden Durdy, the defensive line coach. Now, we've seen this already, we know, but Tolbert is in there bringing in, Brandon Cooks is in there in the same boxing area, boxing and working out with Jalen Tolbert, which is more of the mentoring story. And I got a little more video on this here in a minute.
Yeah, and I know this is like the fourth receiver at this point that has either been spotted with Cooks or mentioned specifically how Cooks is like, helped them already. Yep. And again, remember, training camp hasn't even started, but it is nice to see, like we touched on a little bit more during the more aware parts of yesterday's stream.
Earlier parts.
Leadership does have an impact, and this is a direct correlation into how you can have you can have good players. There's tons of good players. It's the NFL. But being a good leader and a good player, holy crap, that is hard to do. And Brandon Cooks has been doing that relatively consistently since very early days in the league.
4 years out of his 9 with 4 different teams, right? Well, he's had it for, I think, 6 out of his 9 years, over 1,000 yards. With 4 different teams, 4 different quarterbacks, 4 different teams, he's got over 1,000 yards with 4 different teams. This will be the first time ever he gets it with the Cowboys. He gets over 1,000 yards.
And everywhere you go back to those 4 teams, and even before that. Yeah. Every single teammate, every single receiver, everyone that talks about Cooks says pretty much the same thing.
And not only that, he also was the main guy in most of these teams. Now he's the number 2, number 3. You know what I mean? Brandon Cooks is gonna help this offense more than we even know, than we're even saying, and we give credit for this. So we have to see it play out. We can't, knock on wood, no injuries, but he's already helping. He's gonna help on that field. Trust me, taking the top of the defense. But he's helping here off the field too. Mary Alvarez rocking in here with a $2 holler. And Mary's adding, trying to get another raffle entry.
That's right.
Much love to Mary Alvarez with that $2 drop. What did she say with that, J. Lou, too?
Classic Go Cowboys, you know.
I think she breaks the tie, too.
Thank you,
she
Mary.
does.
Appreciate you.
I'll update her here on the board here in a minute.
There you go. Jason Ruffro, by the way, has 63 points.
Yeah, he's rocking that top spot.
We got some O-line represent. I always like to shout
out. I got a little Biotish talk tonight.
Representation there.
I got a little Biotish talk tonight, guys. So you're gonna like this one.
Let me see. Brandon Katz, by the way, he's starting out there. Vaughn was impressive at Kansas, but he's not big enough to get more than 4 or 5 carries a game, though. Do we really want/need him to have more?
I want catches, though. I want him to get.
You really want to see Vaughn in the?
I want him.
So here's the thing. Again, that's.
What
was that?
If we get the red zone, I don't know. If we're in the red zone, I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
I know, but that's scary.
What was that? Is it your phone or my phone?
No. Is there some kind of a...
Okay, I wouldn't worry too much. It's not going to blow up here.
Wait, give me a second.
It's probably your watch, baby. I think it probably made a noise.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it did. There you go.
Jesus. That scared me. Sorry, guys. I'm not wearing it because I'm
losing my track. Yeah, with Deuce Vaughn. Let me just get back to it. Deuce Vaughn. I forgot. What were you just saying about Deuce Vaughn?
I didn't expect you to say that you wanted to see him as a receiver. And the only reason I say that is, again, it brings me in mind even more my Pollard-Vaughn connection, where I said,
No, I say that.
Back receiver
I say it only because of this. The Cowboys have been using him. They use Deuce Vaughn on the goal on red zone, not goal line, red zone. Inside the 20, less space. They like Deuce Vaughn in less space.
So Vaughn's definitely replacing Turpin, is what you're telling me.
Well, I'm saying, I don't know what you're saying. I'm saying they play different positions. So Deuce Vaughn,
I know, but
out of the backfield,
one of these
but he's not playing receiver.
Has to go.
He's playing as a listen. Deuce Vaughn, Turpin could play when we're 80 yards away from the end zone. That would help us a lot more with his speed than in the short yardage area. I think you get Deuce Vaughn in the short yardage in the red zone area. I think that's where you dump the ball off to him as an emergency, and he's in open space immediately with a linebacker. He's going to beat every NFL linebacker pretty much out there and break that to another couple yards. That's the guy you want there in the red zone. The Cowboys are using him for a reason in the red zone. Now, the 19-yard line, the 15-yard line, the 10, they're using Deuce Vaughn. It screens and other things, so keep an eye on that. Now,
look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that I definitely... I have my doubts, not in a bad way, just in a...
I'm saying
I have my doubts.
I don't have doubts that they didn't look... I know for 100% reason. 100%. We've seen the clips. We posted this. They're using Deuce Vaughn on the red zone. That's for sure. Now, will they continue to do that? Training camp. We'll see. But, baby, a fact, and I want to make sure everyone knows this, a fact. They used Deuce Vaughn with the number ones for red zone work multiple times in minicamp. That's a fact. I'm not just pulling out my ass. That's fact. Now, back to more facts. These two guys... Loved number 3, Brandon Cooks helping out number 18, Jalen Tolbert. And let me just finish because they were boxing and all that stuff, but baby, they also did something a little extra here, a little bit more. And let me explain. There's a video out, and we'll be releasing it as well here soon. But I think it's interesting to see them working together in the flesh. Now we've seen pictures and we've heard the stories, we heard the quotes. Let's take a look at the video and erase me for a second. All right, so you see here, this is the boxing. All right, Tolbert on the right. You got
Cowboy Fight Club.
Now here you got Vroom. You got the Archer. That's Brandon Cooks, guys, doing the 40. Now here's Jalen Tolbert doing a 10-yard split. You see right there, get the nut, boom, done. So that's what they've been doing. These two guys
getting faster,
they're working on their speed before training camp. Let's be honest, guys. Brandon Cooks looks incredibly fast. Tolbert's not as fast.
Didn't we talk yesterday about how fast he still was?
He's sub 4.4. He's a 4.3, I think, in the 40. But he maybe is a 4.4 now. It looks like he's a 4.3 right here. But Brandon Cooks, he's going to be destroying the anybody trying to cover him deep. Tolbert trying to get the burst going. I think that the 10, 20-yard split a little bit better, I think, for Tolbert. So they're boxing. They're working on their speed. This was at the headquarters it's called Headquarters Physical Therapies, where they were doing this work at here. And I think it's great to see Brandon Cooks being a mentor to the, very inexperienced, had a bust year last year, Jalen Tolbert. And again, to me, we know it's all the receivers, Simi Fehoko and other guys. He's helping everybody out, Brandon Cooks. He's going to help Michael Gallups and he's going to help CeeDee Lambs on the field. But guys like Jalen Tolbert needs that extra help. I love seeing him helping all our receivers, but especially Tolbert in this situation, guys. I've seen both of them the whole offseason. They've been at Dak's house. All right, they've been with Dak, working on the Dak field together. Tolbert's been involved with Dak this whole time, but Brandon Cooks, when he's been on this team, he's been there full time with Tolbert and helping him progress. I love it, and I can't wait to see more of this from these two guys.
Yeah, by the way, training camp starts in 24 days. Right?
Yeah, 23 days, 23 I guess, now officially. But, guys, July 24th is when it starts. July 31st, the pads come on, the hitting starts. So any thoughts on this, maybe, on these two guys working together? You kind of said it already a little bit, but I love to see the speed we see from Brandon Cooks.
I love the mentorship. This is one of the moves that, honestly, I am just not as worried about our receiver situation as I was before we made this move. I'm just saying, it really did.
Even before the draft,
it's one of the reasons why, it probably does feel like beating a dead horse, because to me, the focus has been more or less down to 2 to 3 spots or positions. I'm much more worried about our tight end situation than I am our receiver situation, just because I always felt like that only needed some small tweaks and adjustments. It's not like we're completely bereft, right? And with the expectation of guys like Gallup being back to the health and mobility that we're expecting, CeeDee Lamb, officially crowning himself as the number one receiver and like truly embodying that role. The removal of the bullshit Kellen Moore offense. I mean,
well, that has to play into it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we fixed or at least touched on most of the major problems there. Like, everything else is just a matter of tweaks. Hell, even Tolbert, Cowboys was saying, like, does he even make the team? Like, first of all, he has to make the team. No way the Cowboys just dumped a third-round pick on a guy
not so fast. Yeah.
Exactly. So even if he, short of him pulling oh my goodness, who was a cornerback, second-round pick?
Oh, Kelvin Joseph.
There you go. Short of him pulling a Kelvin Joseph,
and Kelvin Joseph's still on the team.
He's still on the team. And why? Because he was a second-round pick.
That's right, yeah.
Tolbert would have to do quite a bit to find himself not a Dallas Cowboy.
Agreed.
But it does speak really well for him, at least on a personal football level, that he is putting in a lot of personal time and that he's basically been like picked up like a little baby bird under Brandon Cook's wings. So good for him.
It can't hurt. It cannot hurt having Tolbert fully immersed with Brandon Cooks, learning everything from him. We saw what it did with Tyler Smith.
Like, that looks like a 4.2. That's like unreal.
I know. And it can't be 4.2, but it's got to be a 4.3 or 4.4 for sure. And, I can't wait to see that in the field. He's going into his 10th year, Brandon Cooks.
That's what I'm saying. How many guys are just as fast as they were the day that they stepped onto the field?
It's great. Not many. Not many. We'll see if he's that one. Any other quick comments, maybe, before we get to the next topic here?
A bit of a back and forth just because when it comes to Deuce, obviously a big part... No, I'm just saying a big part of that discussion is just the fact of his size. Kevin Bilbo said, people need to stop talking about Deuce's size. He carried K-State on his back, ran all over LSU, Bama, Texas. But Brandon Katz said, replying to Kevin, there aren't really any 175-pound running backs that start in the NFL. Vaughn's good, but he's not full-time. Like, he'll always be, whether you want to admit it or not, he is limited by his size.
Well, there we go. Why don't we just take a look at it then? Right there. Deuce Vaughn. And in his video, again, you see him. Again, college is different than the pros, in my opinion.
I agree.
So he's going to be facing different monsters out there. I do think, though, with the right scheme, using him the right way, it's pretty simple. I think he can provide something for this team, without a question. If you use him right, listen, and you were saying how many downs would I want to see Deuce Vaughn get? Listen, if Deuce Vaughn gets 10 snaps, it's probably going to be all in the red zone. Probably going to be where it's going to be productive and needed. And he's probably going to score a touchdown and do something big.
Basically, if he's getting more snaps, it's because we're in the end zone more. And it's a good thing,
10 snaps in a game, it would be a lot. And I would like that because that means we're in the red zone utilizing him, and it's working. The way Jason Renfro's working that first place spot with a 271 holler right there, baby. What did the man say?
Thank you. A classic. Go Cowboys. Always appreciated. So, by the way, shout out to you, skeptical fan. Always staying skeptical.
Always.
Let me go ahead and show it off.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let me
now that he's here.
Let me clear this here.
Make sure we do it while he's here.
Let me clear. Let me clear.
Let me get it the right
direction. You can show it.
There we go.
No, yeah,
there we go.
Yeah. Little higher. There you go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Second place prize right there. Cowboys. The writing logo right there.
Yes.
Repping that star word.
Thank you again, skeptical fan. Much love. Appreciate you.
Always staying skeptical. He's in the house.
By the way, Burn Bar, we need you to hit us up.
Yeah, we got your hat.
Address. We have your hat. We just got to send it to you.
Yeah, I mean, we'd show it too, but you already know what it looks like. So, Burn Bar, if he's in the house. Is he in the house? But either way, so you guys, we can go back to Deuce Vaughn later or another day. We're definitely going to talk about Deuce, but to me, it's all about seeing how he's used by McCarthy in our offensive scheme. And, seeing how training camp kind of goes along for him and for Turpin, because if they use Turpin and him in the same role, then we're going to have one guy.
I feel like our Texas Coast offense, there's still a lot of questions that we rightfully have, so it's really hard for us to sit here and say, oh, it's going to be this, and that. Again, based off that 70% kind of number that keeps getting thrown at us,
stays the
there's
same.
Some assumptions that we can make, and based off of the players' kind of skills and strengths, of course, it's... we're not doing rocket science here either, right, guys? We're all very intimately aware of who is on this team and what they're doing. So, of course we can figure out, like, oh, yeah, this guy's probably going to do this guy's going to do that. That's why I said I'm more worried about our tight end situation than I am about our receiver situation, because that's where I'm looking and going, okay, who the fuck is stepping up? Who is going to do the job that needs doing?
Well,
anyway,
I'm
not here to talk about the tight end.
That's what we're going to see like the three-headed kind of monster, 13 personnel. You can see all the guys out there. I don't have a problem.
Skeptical fan said it was hard to see with the video playing. So
okay, show it again here. I'm going to turn it off anyways. I just wanted to make sure we got their Deuce Vaughn feel. Yes, I agree. He is a little bit over. He's a bit overhyped, but I also think Deuce Vaughn can provide the team with some real good quality. Yes, for sure. That's why I think he makes 53, especially them drafting him, 6th rounder. I know it sounds like it's late now. The Cowboys love to save face. Unless he's horrible and serves no purpose, I think he's making the 53. That's just me. So go ahead, let's prop it up. Skeptical fan, by the way, he's star level. He's got the freaking May and June back-to-back records right now, 35 gifted memberships, and he's leading this month. Boom. As we enter the room with second place prize from the man, Mr. Skeptical Fan. Got this here. He's repping MCF. And he's got the second place prize there. You got the jersey, first place. Second place is the fantastic t-shirt. Go Cowboys. You know it.
Always go Cowboys.
Always. Much love, Skeptical Fan. Appreciate you.
Yes, thank you again.
Now, I'm going to get it rolling here because we got to keep it going. We didn't get on defense yet. We got two more things to talk about on offense. Okay. I guess 3. Offensive line, 2 guys on the offensive line, and then quarterback. Yeah, you know I'm coming with quarterback and Dak Prescott talk here because there's some comments about Dak this last couple of days we got to touch on. But first, let's go with our offensive line. That's where our bread is buttered, baby. And look, we know we got the 3 tackles, right? Basically, Tyler Smith, 73. Tyron Smith, injured. He's going to be injured eventually. Number 77. And number 78, Terrence Steele, who's still rehabbing. So let's take a update look on Mr. Terrence Steele. Oh, let me make sure I fix this so you can all see it because it is pretty impressive and it is needed to be seen here on My Cowboys Family. And I'll move the guys out the way here, but let's just keep watching here, guys. Take a look at Terrence Steele's rehab.
Now, it was his right leg?
I think
right knee, or was it his left?
I think it was his left knee. If I'm not mistaken.
No, I just...
maybe look it up real quick.
How about this? I can't tell from watching that video, which is probably a good thing.
If you look at the previous video I had uploaded here, guys, and this one I'll be bringing up there on the show soon as a standalone video. But if you look at the first one, his legs were kind of different sizes. Now they've evened out.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, looking at him here, like, he just looks like any other player doing an off-season workout. I could not have told you just watching this video, not like I'm a regular person. I don't know what I know about Terrence Steele. If I just saw a video, I'd be like, oh, yeah, nice.
He's a guy working out, right?
Working out.
He's rehabbing big time.
So,
honestly, put in the work, for sure.
This takes such a weight off my shoulders, too, just because I do have to admit the thought of starting the season with Tyron Smith as our right tackle does still scare me a little bit.
Well, that's because who's the left guard? That's why it scares you. Not because he's right tackle.
That is a big motivating factor, but the other one is just I am not mentally prepared to lose Tyron Smith in week 2 of the season. And I mean, obviously it's not like he's held up at left tackle all that great, but I still feel like the weight of figuring everything out in the other direction, right-handed or whatever, like that still is a little bit, I don't know.
We got an alley cat sighting here because Skeptical Fan.
Cat tails.
Skeptical Fan with the plan, gifting a membership.
That's right. Thank you, Skeptical.
Woo-hoo.
Appreciate you. Much love, of course.
Yes.
That goes towards your raffle total and the membership total and all that.
Right now, I mean, he's...
By the way, Jason did want to know, like, kind of where he's at as far as, like, total entries.
I would have to check. I couldn't do it.
We'll do our best towards the end of the stream to give you that number, Jason.
Yeah, it's definitely... You definitely have at least 10 raffle lead, I think. I'll have to let me double check that.
I think he wanted his, like, total number.
Well, I probably won't get that total tonight, but I know around where he's at, is what I'm trying to say.
So I'm seeing a few people kind of commenting here saying, well, Emmitt Smith was also shorter and slower.
Yeah, he was like 5'9".
But he still went out there and basically, became Emmitt Smith.
Well, great blocking, but he was also bigger than Deuce Vaughn in both height and in weight and heavier, stronger. So there's still that. You gotta. It's not just being fast or tall or big.
I like the comparison to him and Darren Sproles.
Darren Sproles.
I do think that fits.
And I think Darren Sproles was a bit thicker and bigger than him too.
Honestly,
about same size.
It's hard because Vaughn does just look a little bit willowy compared to
compact. He's just tinier.
Even compared to like the shorter guys in the league, they look a little stockier than he does. So I do think that does contribute to maybe our perception of him maybe being smaller, just because when you see him, he doesn't necessarily look like the biggest, the widest guy around.
Yeah.
So.
I hear you. All right, man. We should make a Deuce Vaughn stream because so much Deuce Vaughn talk. But I'm more important. I care more about Terrence Steele. Now look, Terrence Steele to me went from nothing. He was horrible his first year to a great increase. Working with Floyd.
I voted him off the island that first year.
Floyd Manyweather, and doing his work there, whatever it was with Philbin, whoever with the Cowboys, he's worked down to a top right tackle in the NFL. So seeing this is very important. I'm not gonna listen. I want to believe he's going to be back week 1. I just cannot buy into it yet. I have to kind of see him in a practice or two.
To me, this is a very, very positive
back in Dallas.
sign.
Back in Dallas from Oxnard, let's see him on the field a couple times with the pads, and then I'll be like, all right. If not, I don't have a lot of confidence in him week 1. But if he starts and he's healthy, even without practice, the way in training camp and all that stuff, and in practices before that, even without any practice, I still believe he'll come in there and he'll do well, especially in the run game. Will dominate. He's still one of the best run blockers, in recent memory here. For
the good
our
thing
Cowboys
is the
on the
offense
right
is
side.
changing. That doesn't necessarily mean that the offensive line is changing too much. Outside of knowing like the names and the play calls and stuff, there weren't really any changes when it came to the O-line there. So, he should fit right back. Like, he should fit right in once he comes back, or as he works his way back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got
just
enough
because he's
work.
hurt doesn't mean he also doesn't have the playbook.
I
He's
agree.
attending meetings and stuff, so he does know whatever new names Dak is using to call whatever. Where before it was Blue 42, now it's Red 37.
Oh, yeah, he's right there with
Terrence Steele's on top of that too. So, and thankfully communication, now that Biadasz has gotten into the swing of things, much improved. Right, Skeptical fan?
Woo! With a 5 on it because he gifted another membership.
That's right.
Who got it this time? I love Bean Dip.
That's right.
The lucky winner.
Double dipping.
Double dipping with the Bean Dip. Much love, Skeptical fan, and congrats to Bean Dip. Jason Renfro with 66 points. Skeptical fan slowly adding more raffle entries and just moving on up the board here. I think he's still in second place. Yeah. I mean, he's out there. He passed some big ballers out there, like Marco Seppian, and and who else was out there? Snug and others. Anyways.
Okay, sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people. You see the board above. Much love to Skeptical fan, who now got to move that, baby, to 7 gifted memberships for him. He's got a 7-1 lead right now against Mr. Jason Renfro in the battle.
There you go. So, by the way, Bean Dip, they do tours at the Star.
Yep.
If you ever do get a chance to
go.
Definitely worth it. Great experience.
AT&T
Although I
and the
will
Star.
say, personally, something that still cracks me up a little bit, and let me know if you guys have gone recently. Let us know if that has changed at least. But man, not too much Jimmy Johnson in the Star building.
Very little.
And again, not saying the walls have to be plastered with Jimmy Johnson, but there's a noticeable absence of Jimmy Johnson in certain moments and instances where you're kind of like, well, wasn't that him or wasn't he involved in that? And if they don't have to talk about him or mention him, they certainly won't. So
Jerry Jones again.
It was
Jimmy Johnson's obviously missing. That's the thing that's crazy. Like, it's obvious that he's not there. Like, he's been erased from the Cowboy star.
And he's there just enough so they didn't pretend he completely.
They'll
didn't
show his
exist.
arm in like a picture hugging Aikman or something.
Yeah, I think the only actual true spotlight on him was the "How about them Cowboys" moment. Yeah. I do think they had a little something about that there, but
that's pretty much the only thing. Maybe Irvin had and Johnson connection. Like, they said it from Irvin's panel.
Yeah, but it's still very worth it. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. Do it. Now, Terrence Steele, guys, just want to say this. Continue to work with offensive O-line masterminds on his way back to the field. Of course, like I said, working with Floyd Manyweather. He's the guy who really helped them, and he's getting more rehab work from him with him in these film sessions you're seeing here. One of the best run blocking tackles in the league. Last year, he's a mauler. He's going to be back at it. It looks like he's confident in his leg, doesn't it? And it looks like Dallas Forever is now part of the family here on the membership side because Jason Renfro dropping that 5 on it.
There we go. Thank you, Dallas Forever. Appreciate you, of course. Much love. And real quick, in case anybody who's here would like the ability to be gifted a membership, or
yes.
or if you want to just know how to do it, you do have to actually like go in your, where is it again?
It's 3 dots there in your, or somewhere in your. And your look, it should show. It's. I don't know how to explain it. That's the thing. That's kind of
exactly. But basically, you have to kind of give YouTube permission to accept like gifted memberships on your behalf or something. So I think it's in the. Oh man, I can't remember because it's been
mine doesn't have
while.
it. Yeah,
mine doesn't have it either.
But there is somebody in the chat. Hopefully, can post that.
Yeah, but basically you have to turn it on. I think it's in the gifting thing where it says gifting or something like that. But either way, Jason Renfro with
another one here.
$60.
By the way, Jason's got two gifted memberships and another $1.60 here on top of that, as he just keeps piling in.
He said, "I'm maintaining my lead."
Yeah, he's maintaining his lead, and he's piling up some more. Another raffle entry here and there. Right, that adds up. Another 160 on top of that, and a Go Cowboys. Much love to the man, Jason Renfro. The takeover after tonight, he'll have everything on this board. So, anyways, appreciate everybody, guys. Truly, keep the comments coming. Keep it, keep the love, announced, I guess. And we'll stop and talk about anything you guys, when you guys drop donations or anything like that. We will definitely take on your question and try to answer as genuinely, as honestly as possible from what we know. Our opinions, but it doesn't always mean we're right. But hopefully, we are a good guide. Like the way PFF is a decent guide for certain positions on the football field. But offensive line, Terrence Steele, guys, I love what he's doing here. Now, again, he's to me in this video. Let's just go through real quick. Looks pretty strong and stable. Has, again, no brace on. Last one didn't have brace. No brace on that leg. By the way, it is his left leg.
Okay, so it was the left.
Left leg, left knee, I guess you could say. ACL and MCL. It looks pretty damn strong there, guys. And he has to be confident. Mentally is the biggest part of this thing.
Okay.
Being comfortable and confident with that left knee and being able to plant it and push off of it. And grind.
Like going back in with that same amount of power and stuff, it can be a little bit freaky after he got hurt.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's lost any. He doesn't look nervous or like hesitant.
Yeah,
he looks just like he's not thinking about it, which is what we want.
If you were objective and you didn't even know who Terrence Steele was and you just saw this video, you would just think it's any other player just working out in the offseason. So
I love to see this, guys. Again, to me, with no brace on, it's just in the mind. He has to trust the leg. It's a big hurdle, but to me, from the naked eye, like you just pointed out, to me, it looks like he's pretty solid about that. He's going to keep pounding and working hard. Our offensive line, let's be honest, when it's fully healthy, which is rare, when it's fully healthy, it's a top 10 offensive line, running and pass protection, in my opinion. No doubt about that. So Terrence Steele's a major key to keeping the offensive line healthy. And, we need Tyron Smith not getting hurt and everybody else, knock on wood, not being hurt. So, again, to me, Terrence Steele's growing to his own. It's not because it's just chance. It's not because he worked hard with Floyd Mayweather with the Cowboy offseason program, and he's worked hard to get to this point. And again, I think a lot of people counting him out, us included. Mm-hmm. And I think he's shown that he is a very vital piece to this offensive line. We need him back here. Very important we get him back to make this thing run properly. Now, I will say this, baby. Offensive line is not. I'll leave this up for a little bit longer because offensive line, you were mentioning number 63. And that's Tyler Biadasz, badass, right? Center. Yes. He's only allowed 1 sack in his entire 3-year career. Now, in that same time span, for the Eagles center, Jason Kelce, he's allowed 5 sacks in his first 3 years, compared to Biadasz's 1 sack. Biadasz, 1 sack allowed in 2022, 2021, and 2020 combined. And you look at I guess you could say not his first 3 years, but Kelce's last 3 years in that same time frame. Kelce allowed 5 sacks. So obviously, who's the better center now? I know Kelce's the better center, but pass protection-wise, was like Biadasz's kind of maybe lesser. He was a much better run blocker, let's just say that, when he came in the league. Pass blocking is not bad either for Mr. Tyler Biadasz. And if you break it down even farther, guys, last year Tyler Biadasz had 1,066 offensive snaps, 576 pass blocking snaps. He allowed 0 sacks last season. He only allowed 3 quarterback hits. He allowed 13 pressures in there from the middle, and he had 490 run block snaps, and only 5 total penalties committed in his whole game. So when you look at Jason Kelce, the same thing last year, he had less snaps, 993 offensive snaps, 557 pass blocking snaps, which is about 20 less than he had. He also allowed 0 sacks, Kelce. He allowed 1 hit. Like I said, Biadasz allowed 3 hits. Now, Biadasz only allowed 13 pressures. Kelce allowed 17 pressures. And I think Biadasz had about 60 more run blocking snaps. Biadasz committed 5 penalties last year. Kelce committed 4 penalties last year. What I'm trying to say is very comparable to one of the best centers in the league, Jason Kelce, right? And Biadasz is right there with him. So I'm still in Biadasz's corner. I think he's shown a lot, Biadasz. Now, let me get Terrence Steele off the board. I don't know if there's any other comments on Terrence Steele or anything I'm saying here. Let us know.
Let me see. Stephen White said his left is his kickoff leg. I'm not expecting much. So I guess I hadn't even thought about that.
Well, the left is his inside leg. He's playing the right tackle spot. Now, I'm not sure which is his kickoff, but he has to make sure that's a solid interior leg. And remember, that's the one that gets rolled on. That's why he tore it, because that's the inside one of the guys fall on him from the inside, usually not from the outside.
Okay.
So Terrence Steele, hopefully ready to go sooner than later. By week 1, let's hope.
Let me see here. No, I'm just kind of rolling back a little bit here. So, by the way, Cubs Abroad also said, I also was done with Terrence Steele after the first year. Reminded me of Chaz Green, but I'm glad that he did get better.
And he worked hard to get there.
Basically, we were both ready to vote him off the island there.
Agree, and we're happy. We always said, I don't want to listen, if these guys produce eventually, then let's go with it. But when we all seen that first year, nobody could have been like, this guy's gonna make that impact or a rebound, and he did. And now, hopefully, he can overcome this injury and give us that impact that we need to see continuous here throughout the rest of his career, let's hope, right? So, again, he's on that restricted free agent deal, or the restricted tender, right? So he's got this 1 year we kind of get to see how he rebounds from the injury, and we got to pay him the money next year if we want to keep him here. That's another important thing to keep in mind. Same thing with Biadasz, right? Biadasz this is a contract year. This is the end of his rookie contract. So we're going to pay him the big money. He's a Pro Bowler now. So we're going to be paying him the big money. And, at center next year, when we kind of going to be under the gun, make a deal within a couple of weeks. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. So nothing else, maybe? That's it? We're good?
Yeah, no, sorry. It just being to crack me up. He said Tyler Bidkaka is the next Travis Frederick. I have no idea how to say his last name, and that just kind of caught me off guard. Biadasz, yeah.
Yeah. So we call him Badass, too. Of course, his nickname. Now, the guy he snaps to it every single play is Rain Dakota Prescott, right? Kellen Moore spoke about him, baby. And listen, when you look at Dak Prescott's best, you got to go to this game here. To me, that's one of his best games in the playoff game against the Buccaneers. I'll put it a little bigger here. So, sorry, baby.
Definitely a team effort, but yeah, Dak. It's hard to think of Dak having a better performance, like start to finish.
And this is an important
that mattered.
game. Yeah.
Exactly, just all of it coming together. So
again, I'll say this is his last good play called game that he had with Kellen Moore. And Kellen Moore said this. I talked about it yesterday in our one-time viewing, but we're going to repeat it now. Kellen Moore said this about his former quarterback on the season with Pat Schrager from the NFL Network, but he was on their podcast. Kellen Moore said this, who's now, of course, the Chargers offensive coordinator. He said this about Dak, quote, "The best person, I think the best leader I've ever been around easily. And in all honesty, that means player or coach or anything. His ability to connect with a team in all spectrums is rare, and I've never seen it in any other way. His work ethic, his command, I think he's incredible. We've all been through that Dallas journey, and he has a phenomenal way of being able to deal with probably more than your average NFL starting quarterback. And he handles it beautifully. He certainly is a guy you forever root for." Now, again, it doesn't mean he's the best player in the world, but he's definitely a leader. He takes over the control of the team, and he has something different. He's just kind of a little bit more than just a regular average NFL quarterback. This is what Kellen Moore is saying. Of course, why would he say anything different? It kind of connected.
Yeah,
right?
like it benefits Kellen Moore to say that.
But we've heard Randall Cobb say this about Dak Prescott, and he's played with Aaron Rodgers. We've heard Cole Beasley say this. In fact, Cole Beasley said this, quote, when he basically retweeted this statement by Kellen Moore, and he said, "I'm saying, and Bills fans think I'm throwing shade, but I'm not. Dak is just different." That's Cole Beasley, and he's taking a lot of fire, you could say, but a lot of shit he's taking over there in Buffalo because of not saying Josh Allen is better than Dak Prescott. And he said Josh Allen is better than Dak in some ways, and Dak's better than Josh Allen in these other ways. And this is one of those ways that Cole Beasley's been saying about. I'm not a big fan of Cole Beasley's kind of politics and all that, but the point is he's right here on this subject here about his thoughts on the way Dak is, he's played with them. Randall Cobb's played with this guy, and he also sees Dak as not just a leader, but he's a fantastic quarterback. That's the thing people don't understand. So I think that, again, Beasley has no incentive to say this. Just sharing his version of what he's been through with both Josh Allen and Dak Prescott. Every player that has played with Dak Prescott has said something very similar to these things, guys. Every single one of them. I think maybe Bryce Butler did it because he was pissed he got cut. I don't know. But the point is, I'm just saying this is just another example of the things that people miss about Dak Prescott. Now, let's look at Dak Prescott real quick in these games where people say, well, he's dink and dunk, or he's that. Listen, offensive grade, and you can see some of this in this playoff game against the Bucs. Mm-hmm. His offensive grade when he's had 75 or higher, with a passing grade of 74 or higher, he's had that in 5 out of 7 seasons, according to the data collected from PFF's Premium Stats database. By the way, he had 19 or more BTT. What is BTT? Big time throws. All right, that's like over 20 yards, like that. He's had that in 5. Again, he had 19 or more of them in 5 out of his 7 seasons.
Which, again,
for Dak Prescott,
that's impressive.
Big time throws, BTT. It's a pass with excellent ball location, over 20 yards, that has timing and is generally thrown further down the field and into a tighter window, as you saw right there. 22 in these scenarios, baby, in big time throws. Oh, I'm sorry, not big time throws. Now looking at touchdowns, he's thrown for 22 touchdowns or more in 6 out of his 7 seasons in the NFL. He's thrown 10 interceptions or less. 10 interceptions or less. In 5 out of the 7 seasons, he's thrown enough passes to qualify for this. And his passer rating is 96.9 or better in 5 of his 7 NFL seasons. So I'm just saying, Dak Prescott.
To kind of answer the second part of that question there, Cowboys abroad, yes, obviously the leadership has been fully established, but every single one of these players has said Dak isn't just a good leader. They do call him a good quarterback, and that he does have the skills to pay the bills in that respect.
Randall Cobb's played with a lot of quarterbacks, and I know Aaron Rodgers is number 1, but he said that Dak Prescott is even better than Aaron Rodgers in some cases, and was right there with him on the other stuff. So you can look back at what Randall Cobb said when he was in Houston, when he said with other teams, and he said even with the Jets now. I mean, he was asked about Dak. He said it. So when you look at the guys like him, and you look at guys like Cole Beasley, who's played with a great quarterback, and Josh Allen, Dak is in that whether you agree or disagree, the point is Dak is in that category. Mm-hmm. And some people don't agree with that because he hasn't got the Super Bowl. It's not the Dak Cowboys. It's the Dallas Cowboys. So anyways, one last thing, baby. Dak Prescott, passer rating of 92.3 with 1,559 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions in 6 games in the playoffs. That's his playoff numbers, guys, in his career. Not bad at all from Dak Prescott. So, again, a lot of hate out there for him. It's easy to pick on Dak Prescott. It's easy to pick on Dak Prescott. We can do that all day here. Oh, look at this pass, this decision. And some of that's on him. A lot of those 17 interceptions, let's be real, far from being Dak's fault.
Yep, and again, if you want to go look at that and break it down a little bit more.
We have a video for that.
We did just post a video not that long ago discussing and detailing just
and I'll be throwing out there more shorts on the explanation of the rest. I think it's like 7 more interceptions we have to still do, so you'll see those out there soon in the short section. Now, one last thing about Dak. We talked about his 3rd down and long. This has been a major issue for the Cowboys offense. Don't forget Dak Prescott. The Cowboy offense, we had a lot of 1st down fails, bad run calls, and bad run plays from Kellen Moore that put us in bad 2nd downs and bad 3rd downs. A lot of Dak's interceptions came on 3rd down and 18 and shit. So
exactly.
The point is,
shit begets shit.
3rd down conversion percentage, though, baby, on 3rd and 5 or farther away. 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 5 and over. 3rd down percentage, 3rd down conversion percentage. Patrick Mahomes number 1 with 44% of the time.
Okay.
43% of the time is Dak Prescott, and that's what Dak getting put to the test. Much more than Mahomes has been put to the test on 3rd downs. We're talking about 3rd down and 5 or longer, farther away. Dak has been extremely successful with not much to work with when it comes to Kellen Moore and some of the bad situations he's been put in. Dak, let's be honest. You got to look at everything in context and in reality. Now, when you look at this list, Aaron Rodgers only converted 26% of his 3rd down and 5s or longer. So just a spectrum of guys. Josh Allen 31%, Joe Burrow 34%. I'm just saying, there's Trevor Lawrence there, 37%. So, look, if they don't get the Cowboys and Dak Prescott stuck in third and long all day long, and if, and I say all day long, I mean 5 or 6 times in a game, you keep those numbers to 1 or 2 times in a game, the Dak Prescott offense will be much more successful, in my humble opinion. Imagine how much more effective that can be on 3rd and 2s and 3rd and 3s instead of 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 12s, and 3rd and 18s. Comparatively, it's a big difference there when you look at him and multiple other quarterbacks in the NFL that are getting like Mahomes, getting his third downs a lot easier than Dak Prescott. Just saying. And last year we had a lot less talent. At least now we have Brandon Cooks to help out. Let's be honest about that too. So I don't know. That's the way I see it. You guys let me know what you think. Give me send any comments in the chat. Let's hear it as we roll for the defense after this.
Let's go ahead and dive right into some of the more controversial thoughts here. Frame Rippers, much love.
Let's go. Rip
Dak just doesn't have it. It's okay because Aaron Rodgers is a very good quarterback, but he doesn't have it either. That Packers defense won them that Super Bowl.
I mean, I disagree with him. I think that Aaron Rodgers does have it. And if you say Aaron Rodgers doesn't have it and Dak doesn't have it, then I'm thinking that they both do have it. See what I did there? Much love, Frame Rippers, Voodoo. But I disagree with that. Yeah, I mean, everybody here, everybody knows Aaron Rodgers has it. Let's be real. Mm-hmm. The defense helps. That's why it's not the Aaron Rodgers Packers. It's the Green Bay Packers. That's why I say Dak got this and that. He needs receivers. He needs better coaching. He needs better blocking, whatever it may be. He needs to make better decisions himself. And the defense is helping this freaking offense as well. Everybody on it.
So, no, I don't want to...
I like it. I love it. I love the discourse.
Cracks me up. Jack Dong said Dak was the original Brock Purdy, but he did it without having Kyle Shanahan holding his hand.
I mean, remember Garrett, Linehan, Kellen Moore, basura, trash. Come on, you got to look at the people behind him who've evolved him. Not very good. They're poor evolvers. So let's see McCarthy now gets his hands on Dak. He's been known as a quarterback whisperer from Joe Montana, Aaron Brooks, wasn't it, from the Saints, and others after that. Come on. Let's see McCarthy get a real shot at him, and this is going to be his first chance. And I think that West Coast style 30%, quick throws, 2 reads, and break the fucking pocket in 2 seconds, that is going to be beneficial to Dak's style and his skill set. Mm-hmm. I expect Dak to be better this year with Brandon Cooks in the field as well. All this will help Dak and the offense of our Dallas Cowboys. See what I did there? Sorry, go ahead, baby. I'm hungover still from yesterday, guys. You guys kicked our ass.
Trust me. We're definitely putting in all of our efforts.
We're putting all our efforts to this stream, guys. Trust, we should have been done with this one an hour ago.
Bean Dip said hopefully Mike will bring different schemes for Dak.
He is already bringing it, guys. He's already bringing a 30% switch up, and we're talking about quicker reads, lesser reads for Dak, so he can break the pocket faster. Everybody on the field knows it. They just don't run out of bounds from their routes. They come back to the quarterback. Look at last year. Look what Kellen Moore taught them. No help for Dak.
So, let me see. Skeptical fan said, Dak doesn't need to be elite. He just needs a better coordinator and a scheme that works with him.
And there we agree.
Instead of against him half the time.
And that's where we agree. That's not on Dak. That's on the freaking people giving him the scheme and implementing the scheme. Now we'll see McCarthy. He's got his ass on the line here. You better bring it, McCarthy. And Dak, you better bring it when McCarthy brings it. So, that's all. It's a hand-in-hand situation.
Been brought.
That's the way I'm looking at it as a Cowboy fan. Not a Dak fan, not a McCarthy fan, as a Cowboy fan. I want to see production, but I also know the reasoning for the issues in the past. We should see better this year. If we saw that last year, which is good, very good, still had some issues, we should see a lot better this year with Brandon Cooks and the implementation of the McCarthy West Coast offensive, West Texas Coast offense. Let's just call it what they call it. Right? Whatever.
Oh, so cracking me up. A Frame Ripper said, being on Magic Mike and the GOAT, right? The bell. So let me see. No, he made some Magic Mike.
I missed it.
Jokes.
Okay.
So it's all right. So
I was in
skeptical fan, by the way, throwing out there, if Aaron Rodgers would be half the captain that Dak is, Aaron Rodgers would probably have had more Super Bowls.
That may be true.
I think Green Bay players are glad that he's gone. Rodgers is a schmuck.
I think that, I can say that he's a schmuck for sure, but I also think that I agree. If he was a better leader, that could have led to an extra Super Bowl.
I don't think I've ever once heard anybody championing his cause.
I agree with that. He's just too weird for some of the guys on want that team atmosphere. So kind of Antonio Brown-ish a little bit. He's almost getting to that point. It feels like, but he's hanging on, right? He's going to be playing for the Jets now. We get him week 2. Let's take Aaron Rodgers down. Let's get that monkey off our back. We got. I know we got Brady. Let's get Aaron Rodgers here one last time. We got him a couple times. Let's get him this time.
Yeah. And something else you got to get. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You guys can follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily.
Commercial break.
Hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Remember what it's going to be here. Again, there's different ways to drop the love. Of course, Super Chat, membership, gifting memberships. Much love to Jason Renfro and Skeptical Fan on that side. And other ways like Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, message on the screen, thanks button, all that good stuff. Because we just yesterday had our 6-year anniversary, and in that there's a raffle. Every $6, you get a raffle entry. You can stack them as much as you want. You get membership. If you're in the membership, you get navy blue, an extra bonus raffle entry. Silver, you get 2. Star level, you get 3. And may the best person win here. The best family member pull the name out the hat. We're going to do it live on Sunday, January 9th, so a week from today is the raffle. You got to wait till Saturday. Keep stacking them. And stay tuned. We are probably going to be off a couple of days this week, so we'll be back. That's why we made this thing a 2-week thing to give everybody a true chance to get in here, as we are kind of missed a couple of days last week, this past week, and next week here coming up. So anyways, much love to everybody in it. Good luck to all. Jason Renfro is leading the raffle number for sure right now, and he's leading the overall board as we speak, because he is currently in first place on the Cash App side and the overall board side, and 68 points on that Stream Boss side. And remember, baby, who's the king of the Cash App and the sponsor of the week? Snug X.
That's right. Shout out to you, Snug, of course. And he, with that double representation there as he prepares to possibly pass on
right? Yeah.
the torches there. And someone who's holding on to his torch for now is Jason Renfro as a Stream Boss.
Yes, yeah, as I said, he's rocking it there and currently about to take it down for the win. But again, all these things still continue to next week, even if we crown a champion, for this raffle on July 9th, live here on My Cowboys Family. So we see you there for that. And Skeptical Fan, much love, by the way.
Yes, thank you,
we got his gifts here. We're repping them. We got
it's a
second place prize.
A very skeptical stream.
Nice, yeah. He got second place prize as a T-shirt as well, guys. Cowboys T-shirt. So that's for number 2 there. You can show it.
Off one more
that's
time.
Part of the bonus. We just adding raffle prizes. I guess you could say second place, Cowboys.
There we go.
Go Cowboys. You know it.
Looks good.
Well, it looks beautiful.
Perfect.
I love it. I want it.
There we go.
Much love, Skeptical. Appreciate that. So again, can't do this without the family. It's a family affair here. It's an experience here at MCF. Now, let's go to the defense real quick. And I always talk about the Hankins factor. We need that big guy in there. And of course, with Hankins, which we re-signed, and a huge need, I think, for us. I think also Mozzie Smith as our first round pick number 26 overall. He's going to be the Hankins replacement eventually, but I think they're both going to play some snaps. How dominant. When you have a dominant one-tech, and I mean a one-tech that not necessarily get the numbers like Aaron Donald, or he's not even a one-tech, but a dominant one-tech like Hankins that controls the run and really helps the run. How does that help your linebackers? Linebacker help? These guys like Mozzie Smith, guys like Hankins, they take on 2 blockers. And the offensive lineman usually sheds and goes to the second level, which would be where the linebackers are at for the defense. Let's say LVE standing there and Damone Clark. So if you don't have a good one-tech under the center, they take on the center and a guard, and they got to not hold them by hand, but make them not get off your block. So they can get past you. They go to the next guy, your linebacker. Now they got a 5-yard gain with a run. So that's why you want to avoid that, right? You need to have a good guy in the middle. What do these guys do? Hankins and guys like Mozzie Smith, they hold up the guys from getting past them fast enough, and then the linebacker comes in there and makes the tackle, plugs the hole. So, I know. Tying up 2 blockers allows linebackers to stay clean when pursuing ball carriers. Inside, outside, doesn't matter. A gap, B gap, C gap, doesn't matter. So, linebackers get so much help, especially our team. LV and Damone Clark, because of guys like Hankins, and you see Mozzie Smith here. Listen to what happened. And I said this before, I'm going to say it again. I'm probably going to say it again after this, too, in the future live stream. But how did LVE do when we had Hankins in the game? We got him in October. And how did he do when he played, I think he had to play at least 50% of the snaps. How did LVE do in his games? Guys, LVE had a total of 50 total tackles, with Hankins playing 50% of the defensive snaps at the one-tech. double-digit tackle totals for LVE whenever Hankins was in the rotation. 10, 11 tackles for LVE, those times when he played 50% of snaps and was in the rotation. Against Houston, LVE, the Texans, LVE had 14 tackles when Hankins played over 50% of the snaps. It tells you, it shows you what kind of difference you have from your linebacker efficiency when you have a fucking one tech that can stop the goddamn run. And I don't mean making the tackle, I mean stopping the blockers from shedding their blocks, going second level, and then having a running lane for the running back. So, the Niners game, that was the playoff game. Hankins was in there. You know what we did? 11 tackles for LVE. All right? So, you look at the average, you look at how he did. His average, obviously, when you just over all the games that Hankins played in the second half of the year, he averaged 8 tackles a game, LVE. When guys like Mozzie Smith, well, they'll call him like Hankins, was in the game. All right? So, that in itself is paying dividends over and over again there when it comes to having a great nose tackle, one tech guy. How about Damone Clark? Damone Clark, when you have Hankins in the game last year, 5 games when he had Jonathan Hankins at the one tech at nose tackle. In those 5 games. And Damone Clark didn't play a crazy amount of snaps, so he had 16 total tackles in those 5 games combined. 6 solo tackles just by himself, which means what? He was kept clean. Important. He had 9 assisted tackles. He had 1 forced fumble. And he had 1 stuff play. The point here is, guys, Damone Clark, LVE, both of them were so 2, 3, 4 times better when they had Hankins playing, or a guy like Hankins. We got Hankins, we got Mozzie Smith now. We got these guys playing 50% of the snaps. We're going to be better at run stopping, and which means our linebackers going to be doing a lot of that dirty work, staying clean and making those tackles in a run game. So, you know, that's major. Damone Clark, I want to just continue with him for a quick second because I believe he's behind LVE as a pure linebacker, off-ball linebacker. Damone Clark's the other guy. Forget Jabril Cox. Mike is playing the edge for the most part. So Damone Clark is going to get a lot of the snaps, I think, in like an Anthony Barr situation. He played under 35% of the Cowboys' total defensive snaps last year until week 8. Damone Clark did not he did not have a single missed tackle since after week 8. He started playing a lot more. And again, he didn't have 1 missed tackle last year. He was rated. Damone Clark was rated as the highest ranked rookie linebacker in the draft class last year.
Good for him.
And Damone Clark also was rated as the highest. I said the highest rookie thing, but he had 5 losses, guys. The Cowboys had 5 losses last year, and in 3 of those losses, Damone Clark played 7 or less snaps. Does that mean we win or lose games? No, but Anthony Barr wasn't cutting it. Let's just put it that way. Now, you compare this when Clark was, again, in 8 out of the 12 wins we had last year, Damone Clark played in 30 or more snaps. You can see the games later on in the season. He had more of, he was more impactful because he played 30 or more snaps in the game. So, no missed tackles. Damone Clark, again, you see how good he does, how much better he can do when he has a Jonathan Hankins there at the one tech. We got Mozzie in as a one tech, and you see what happens at LVE does. So, again, I am happy with our starting linebackers. Depth-wise could be the question there. That could be one of the issues this year. Depth-wise, past LVE and Damone Clark, Will Jabril Cox, Overshown. You know, these guys, would they come up and do something? We got to wait and see. Now, the last bit of news, the last bit of information is, and you have a couple of these things maybe because Israel Mukwamu, finishing with the defensive side. I mean, I have a special video up today of him. Mm-hmm. Again, let me throw him up on the screen here, and let me put Mozzie here. Again, any quick comments maybe as I do this here?
Oh, man. I'm so sorry if our nasty mouth was not to your standards, Nelda. Sorry about that. But yes, we are adults, and we use adult language. So if that's just not your thing, I promise you there's lots of other places.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2:12 in the morning on the East Coast here. I mean, if any kids up here, they shouldn't be awake.
Is Gallimore back with us?
He's still with us. Yeah, he's still with us.
He hasn't gone anywhere.
He just did a little commercial little thing with the Cowboys. It's funny. He brought Whataburgers to the Cowboys practice facility for a little taste test there. So brought back some kind of sandwiches. Anyways, any other quick comments maybe or?
Let me see. Frame Ripper said I even named my new kitten Rain.
For Dak.
So that's of course a wonderful kitty cat name. So let me see. I think... No, that's more or less everything relevant to that. Although Cowboys Abroad did ask, what position does Bulldozer play?
Bulldozer.
Not sure. Who's nicknamed Bulldozer on our
team? Give me the name.
Not sure.
Give me the name of the person. The only guy.
Oh, based off the nickname alone, I didn't know who it was. So I was hoping you did.
The fullback is Tyler Lipke right now. If he's gonna be a fullback, but I'm not sure.
Skeptical fan, I do have to agree with you there too. He said Aaron Rodgers has no charisma or leadership skills. I get the impression he's too lazy to put in any extra effort into being
feels like that, right?
A good leader. He does. I feel like give you the impression of someone who coasts by on their pure football talent, right? You can't deny that Aaron Rodgers has that talent, but man, imagine how much farther he could go if he had been, maybe a little more self-disciplined in that regard.
Agree.
So I think more of a Patrick Mahomes situation, right? Because he clearly had the talent, but you can tell by the way he handles himself that he is putting in the work to
the leadership skills
continue to improve and be part of the team. Exactly.
Much. I hear you. By the way, I see what Cowboys Broad is asking. Yeah, no, Gallimore is in his last year of his contract.
The Canadian Bulldozer.
He's in the last year of his contract, so I don't see him coming back after this year. I think this is it for Gallimore.
Fair point.
But we'll have to wait and see. He might not even make the team, possibly. Now that's what some people are saying and thinking. We'll see. Cowboys like to keep their picks. Mm-hmm. Now, baby, I know you have some of this. I have some of this. When it comes to this guy right here, number 24, Israel Mukuamu. Mm-hmm. Now, a guy to keep an eye on in training camp for sure. Defensive back. He's working on staying low. He's 6'4", guys. So he's working on staying lower so he can battle the shorter receivers. And in the slot is where you're going to see him maybe practicing this year, guys. Okay. He said he's got to be able to bend and get out of his breaks. These are important things. Now, there is interesting video I'm going to put up here in a minute, and we have it out already if you haven't seen it. But backpedaling and swiveling his hips is what he's doing a lot of right now. Working the footwork, swiveling hips, being looser there. So that's what he's working out right now, guys, before training camp to get ready to really maybe take a big step in his career. I think this is our fourth safety. He could be our third, possibly, not third, but like our fourth or fifth cornerback. This guy has viability in multiple spots here. He does a lot of things. He can stop the run. He can cover in the slot, outside, mainly slot safety. He can do run support. So here's the thing, guys. He's 6'4". And to me, guys, you see him making interceptions and practicing some ball tracking skills, which is something that he's trying to get better at in the NFL. He's one of the tallest cornerbacks that's playing right now. Defensive back is what he's listed as.
Yeah, most guys are not 6'4" doing that.
And he's 205 pounds. So again, what he's practicing on right now is he's emphasizing here. And let me just put the video on so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Right there. Mukuamu, guys, is in 6'4", 205 pounds. And he's emphasizing pad level, meaning keeping himself bent down a little lower there. He's staying low to match.
To stay at
at receiver, eye-to-eye contact. He's so tall. So he's trying to emphasize pad level, staying low to match the shorter wide receivers. Again, last year he had his first interception of his career. Mm-hmm. All right, he played a vital role in the playoffs for the Cowboys.
He did.
As a nickel cornerback. Remember, we were down to nothing. He came in there, he played very well for Dan Quinn. Former 6th-round pick, guys, from South Carolina. He's emphasizing his technique and his stance in this work with private defensive backs coach Ja'Cory Nichols. And he's also there with safety Jalen Petrie from the Texans. They're working together. I guess Eastside Harold's happy about that. But the point is, I know he said some things, Mukuamu, to KPRC, Channel 2. And, he interesting kind of stuff that he said there. I think that Mukuamu kind of spoke on.
Yes. So he, like you said, he told the radio station, quote, "It's definitely important just because being quicker with more lateral moves and stuff like that is big. So I've definitely got to be able to bend and get out of my breaks. So it helps with that a lot. This is pretty fun. Getting a lot of footwork done, ball skills, working on my technique, and just the attitude that Ja'Cory brings, trying to get all the guys better. He's going to expect the best from you and nothing less." Now, I just like that mentality, and it's fun working with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but that's the thing about Mukuamu. The Cowboys love position, flexibility. It's always an emphasis in Dallas. It's an emphasis with Dan Quinn, and Mukuamu fits the prototypical size that Dan Quinn loves. Cam Chancellor style, right here. Think of Cam Chancellor back at the Seahawks. So Now, Ja'Cory Nichols is his private defensive backs coach he's working with here. He actually spoke about Izzy or Israel
basically
Mukuamu.
like some of the things that make him such basically a steal for the Cowboys, right? He said with Izzy being 6'4", you don't want him standing straight up. The key is having a great bend in your knee and being able to move. He's going 3 times a week with me now. That load for him and what's upcoming for the Cowboys, he's definitely going to be tremendous this year. So
I agree.
Basically, Nichols is helping Mukuamu able to handle that load. So,
So
I just wanted to.
And he's definitely helping him out. Mukuamu's playing. Listen to this, baby. His playing time and his role was really undefined for I'd say the most of last season, the majority of last season. He didn't really play much at all. Maybe a short yardage guy, like a goal line defense that you see Mukuamu come in. He finished the regular season, with 17 tackles, 1 interception in 15 games he played in. He had only 3 starts though, and he allowed. The good thing about this, he only he didn't play much, but he only allowed 49 passing yards, and he didn't allow any touchdowns against him in the regular season. In the playoff win against the Buccaneers, Mukuamu had 4 tackles. Played a great game. He had 2 passes defensed, and he played 45% of those defensive snaps. 45% of the game Mukuamu played against the Buccaneers. Against the Niners, we lost that game. He played 32% of the defensive snaps in that game. He also played 68% of the special team snaps against the Niners. But he had a major role in that game on both on defense and special teams. But defense, he's put in a lot of work there in those last 2 playoff games. I think he's an up-and-coming guy. Cowboys have a deep defensive team. We talked about our defensive backs. Our cornerbacks, Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Gilmore, Deron Bland, Jordan Lewis. We didn't talk about our second-round pick that's kind of busted out there, Kevin Joseph and others, right? Mukuamu could be in that list. But look at our safeties. J-Ron Kearse, Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker. We usually use 2 or 3 safeties, usually 3 sometimes. Heavy nickel. Mukuamu is our 4th guy. I'm just saying, Marquise. We got Marquise. Is it Marquise? Marquise Bell? Yeah, I'm just saying, you got all these guys. We got a lot of talent back there. If you look at it, I don't know about for the future, but for this year, we definitely got talent. And Mukuamu, guys, I expect him to do a lot more. Now, listen to this. He played 72 snaps as a box safety. In the box for run support. Almost like a big, like I would say a thinner linebacker.
Okay.
45 snaps he played as a free safety last year. Shows you his range. Free safety or in the box stopping the run. He can play free safety and covers the whole field. The Cowboys have again, with this deep defense, guys, headlined by Micah Parsons, and I think that, on offense with Dak and CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Gallup. Think about, again, we know the defense, how we're set, but think about how he's going to do, baby, when he has to go up around our offensive weapons every day in practice. It's going to make Mukuamu better.
Exactly.
So,
iron sharpens iron.
And I know he also talked about versatility when it comes to Mukuamu in the NFL. So what did he say?
Exactly. So he said, in the NFL, a lot of people move around, but we've got guys back. I've been with the same guys for going on 3 years now. So just playing with these guys, ready to go out there and go to a Super Bowl. So
I love it.
I love hearing how hungry our own individual players are to get to that point as well.
I love it. And, when I see these drills, you can hear it. I speak about it on the video, full length, on the shorts. I'm gonna slice them up a little bit, and so you guys get little thoughts on specific things I'm saying in this video. But Dan Quinn, to me last year he unveiled Izzy, as they call him, Israel Mukuamu, and the mismatch ability he has. You can see this against the Buccaneers in the playoffs, in the slot, and playing in the box. The hope is to see more of that this year. Now, as you can see here, guys, what are the main things he's working on? Pad level, steadying his feet, having efficient breaks, and getting better, having great press technique. With his size, controlling the receivers, getting them out of their routes and out of the timing with the quarterback right off the line of scrimmage for press. With Dan Quinn's defense, hell yeah. And we're going to need to do that. So to me, guys, Mukuamu, if he's able to do these things I'm talking about here and hone his skills working against, again, day in, day out, against CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, and more, hopefully more, right? You're going to get speedy guys out there like Turpin. You're going to get speedy guys out of the backfield like Deuce Vaughn and Pollard. I'm just saying, you're going to have a lot of offensive weapons to battle up against. So when you look at some of the coverage stuff, Mukuamu now, he's going to have to fine-tune his craft. Like you said, iron sharpens iron against maybe one of the best receiving corps in the NFL, one of the top 5 for sure. What did he say about that?
He said, I mean, those guys are crazy. I know you'll see it on Sundays, but even in practice, some of the catches that they make is crazy. Just going against them week in and week out in the practice gets you prepared for Sundays. And practicing with them is very fun.
I'm telling you guys, it's going to be interesting to see. In fact, if you look at mandatory minicamp, the injury to CeeDee Lamb, it happened because of, some rough and tumble play there by Israel Mukuamu. It was him and CeeDee Lamb that got tangled up, and they hit each other's knees, basically. Bumped knees, and that's what CeeDee Lamb's injury was that day. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb is okay, but...
No, I'm just saying.
Mukuamu, but Mukuamu, what I'm saying, he's involved in the play, just physical, and he's working on this. You're seeing now is stuff that he's working on after minicamp and after the OTA. This is now you're seeing here just a week ago, let's say, as he's getting ready for training camp, and I think he's going to take that next step up. I truly do. So, I mean...
So I think that was my last comment there.
No, any thoughts on Mukuamu?
For me... I've had less than 0 expectations from Mukuamu last year. He was the lowest guy on the totem pole, so to speak.
Well, I'd say him and Marquise Bell probably, yeah.
But relatively expendable.
Coil.
And the fact that he was able to, again, find a way to contribute, find a way to get his name out there, find a way to continuously be involved and just continue to...
And utilized by Dan Quinn.
Yeah, I mean, I have to, again, give credit where credit's due, right? Mukuamu has been putting in the work on his side of things. So, and I do think that now that he has shown some of that, I do think that Dan Quinn is going to reciprocate, I think, a little bit more when it comes to that. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to see him doing more, getting more responsibility because he has earned it now. Yeah.
I agree.
If that makes sense.
And I think that also Mukuamu is going to be a guy that you can now rest Malik Hooker a little bit. You can rest J-Ron Kearse or Donovan Wilson and bring in Mukuamu for, 20% of the snaps.
Exactly.
You have heavy nickel, you use 3 safeties. You want to have another guy in there in the rotation to kind of lessen the wear and tear. Mukuamu, is he moving up to that? We will see this training camp. We'll see if he has it or not. I think, if I was a betting man, I'd say he has it. He's on the right trajectory. Last year, it showed in the playoffs. And I do think maybe that he's going to be a guy that is a Dan Quinn prototype defensive back kind of guy. Can play slot corner, can play linebacker, basically hybrid linebacker, can play free safety, strong safety, whatever safety. So I'm liking what the skill set that Mukuamu brings to the table. What's the family saying as we wrap it up here tonight?
Oh, let me see here. And you guys are cracking me up. Cue ball, much love. Let me see. Cowboys Abroad said, I thought that the nickelback covered the slot receiver. Isn't he a safety? As far as Mukuamu?
Yeah, so
he's technically a safety, but he's technically a defensive back. Right?
Yeah, he's a DB, right?
Yeah, the Cowboys definitely like their versatility, and Mukuamu's no exception.
DB
so, yes, he's mainly...
DB is a defensive back, so that covers the safety spot and the cornerback spot. You see some guys can do that. Kelvin Joseph was being used some, even though, he's an outside cornerback. He was using slot corner. So you got to define everything. But I do think this. Mukuamu played the slot last year and was a physical guy against the right matchups. You can slow down some slot receivers, and it worked with Dan Quinn using Mukuamu for that. And again, I would like to see what he can do because his college stuff, not very good as a cornerback. Playing cornerback on the outside was his weakness. That's what he was playing mainly in college. The Cowboys used him at safety because he was not that outside cornerback type guy, but as a slot corner, they found some new usage for him. So against a certain type of receiver, you may see Mukuamu get more snaps. Against a more physical receiver in the slot.
So it's definitely much more of a matchup type of situation. And, of course, I do think that Mukuamu's kind of...
And rotational.
In case of emergency, break glass type of thing.
Yeah, but I think balance him out a little bit.
He worked into whatever we're doing defensively, but I do think one of his biggest draws is that he's there to help fill in the roles of anybody who does, unfortunately, maybe get banged up or hurt or has to miss time without us having to kind of miss a beat necessarily, right? So I do think that that's like another kind of a feather in his cap.
Yeah, man, that's the thing.
Outside of
when we play heavy nickel, you see sometimes 3 safeties. One of those safeties sometimes drop down to help run defense. Sometimes you see them in the box for both possibilities. But you see it sometimes coming down there for the slot, and that's what we used Mukwuemu for last year. You remember he came out as a cornerback, so he has cornerback skills, but outside was his weakness. I think slot is where he's much better at, and the physicality works in that slot. So he's trying to see what he's doing here is to get a little bit against bigger physical guys. He'll be fine. But against the smaller, speedsters in the slot, him against Turpin in the slot, that could be an issue for him. Him against someone like Brandon Cooks in the slot could be. So now he's going to get physical with them in that line of scrimmage and press coverage. We'll see how that works out for him. As a slot corner, playing. As a safety, he's a defensive back. He covers all those spots. But I think slot corner and the mixture at safety is where he's going to be versatile, and he's going to be utilized by Dan Quinn fantastically. I see him making a big jump this year. That's my opinion.
No, yeah, I wholeheartedly agree there. So, real quick, Frame Ripper said, I used to play tennis in high school after football to make my footwork better. If all the tall defensive backs pan out, and if the D-line can get consistent pressure, it's going to be tough for quarterbacks to even make any throws. So, let's make it as difficult as possible, I guess you could say.
We got 3 good receivers on our side, so we should be all right. We should be able to get out of that coverage, but other teams might have problems against our lockdown defense.
Exactly. So, and you guys crack me up when it comes to the whole cursing thing. But here, as we wrap things up tonight, because yes, that is the end of our stream, but it's not the end of MCF, because we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, though, we have to shout out the people who are passing on their glory and their crown to the next generation, right?
The sponsor of the week, who's also the king of that Cash App. You guys know why he's here. He's repping that navy blue, silver, and star. He's also a fan of the wife. Snug X. Appreciate him, baby. But he is passing the crown down now to somebody else. And that somebody else is right here. Jason Renfro with 68 points on the Stream Boss.
That's right.
He's holding that down, but he's also the leader right now in the Cash App, which means he's the winner of the Cash App, and he's taking that baton to next week. Much love to Jason Renfro. He's also going to be tomorrow, or next time we go live, he's going to be the sponsor of the week. Breaking the streak of the Cash App from Snug X, but also taking Snug X, his sponsor of the week. Jason Renfro representing the star over everything now. Another week closer to training camp. So appreciate you, Jason Renfro, the takeover. Of course, Skeptical Fans got the lead in the gifting memberships. He got the back-to-back domination there the last 2 months. Appreciate you. All the star level, navy blue, silver too. All you guys in the memberships, appreciate all you. And the 6-year anniversary crew, I guess you could say. Everybody who has not done it yet, who wants to be in this raffle for a sewn and stitched jersey, you know what to do, guys. 6-year anniversary, $6 you're in. And if you're in a membership, that's when you activate your bonus entries. Navy blue gets 1. Silver gets 2. Star gets 3. Point here is $6. Every $6 on top of that, you can still add raffle entries. First place is the sewn and stitched jersey, your choice of jersey of the ones we have. And of course, second place, that beautiful prize, their second place prize T-shirt, Cowboys T-shirt by Skeptical Fan. Appreciate him. Appreciate all you guys making this a crazy night last night. We got to the end of this. I don't know how we got to the end of this one. I am still a little dizzy.
A lot of water, a lot of hydration, and I'm assuming a lot of sleep right after this.
Yes, definitely a lot of sleep. I can see you wobbling. So we are.
It's we're tapping out the reserves here.
Yeah,
so,
we definitely.
But guys, seriously, huge shout out to everybody here. Let me go ahead and do the final shout outs here. But Frame Rippers, much love to you. Of course, Cue Ball representing. I love Bean Dip, much love. Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. Cowboys abroad, much love to you. Much love, Cowboys abroad. Yumi as well.
Yes, hey, we'll be going. Think we're going to a Dallas game. We're hoping here, week 7. I think the Rams game. That's the hope. We'll see if that happens or not.
Yes,
but hey, we'll
crossed, right?
Maybe see some of you guys when we're there. We're going to bring the kids this time if we go. Next time we go, we'll go bring in the kids. So that's the hope. So
yes, that was mandatory.
Mandatory, yes. That
for our return
was a must for
B.
us. Yes.
So, wait, let me see. Where was I? Jason Renfro, of course, much love.
Take over. Jason Renfro in the house. My phone died, so I can't check.
Nelda and Cox, even you. So, Lorenzo Lee, much love to you as well. Brandon Katz representing. Mike Aldana, what's up? Jack Dong.
Skeptical Fan.
Hey, that's
repping the shirt.
That's what it says. So
hey, I know he's been around. Mr. Dong.
Let me see here.
Oh, shit.
We're just trying to go back. Lee Side Herald, of course.
Oh, yeah, he dropped some love. I got to shout out those that dropped love today, guys.
Oh, so yeah, I think that's about as far back as I can go.
Dwayne Broussard, the W here next to me. You got Justin Quarles, A. Lavelle's on membership. Marissa, Roy Strasner, much love. Eastside dropped a couple bucks in here. Aztec from Australia. Jason Renfro, of course, the takeover man. Mary Alvarez and Skeptical Fan gifting memberships. Man, can't do this thing without you guys. Him and Jason Renfro were gifting memberships. Updated the board. Everything is good now. We'll update the raffle entries and all that stuff. The raffle will be July 9th, right here, a week from today.
That's
we'll
right.
have a winner.
Be there, be square.
Yeah, I just saw this thing shake. What happened? Oh, Mary dropped.
That's right.
$1 holler.
Dropped $1. Holler.
Closing the show
Cowboys.
out. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Ooh.
Mary. Have a great night. Yes.
Yes, appreciate you all, guys. And yes, time for the camera to shut down. But you know why we do this here each and every night. Baby, why don't you tell them why? Why do we do this?
It could be that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Everything. Win, lose, or drug battle ugly here. On My Cowboys Family, we always rep that star over everything. And never forget, now we're officially into past 6 years. 6 years old on YouTube, into year 7 and beyond. Let's get that Super Bowl, guys. No matter what, here at My Cowboys Family, never forget the number one thing here, now and forever, as always. Say it loud, say it proud, say it with us. Go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. You know it, like we did. We got that 6 and beyond.
Yeah, that's it. The Cowboys just gotta.
They gotta match us. They gotta match us now, right? Appreciate
match
everybody.
Energy. So
much love, Skeptical Fan.
Like you said, fingers crossed. We'll be attending a game at some point this season.
That Rams game is
with the family.
Probable one. Yeah. So again,
we'll keep everybody here on the MCF side updated.
Definitely let you guys know when we're going to go. If it's this season, that would be the game, that Rams game. That's the only one we could probably make. It's in Seattle, maybe. The Rams game is definitely the only one that I think we have our fingers crossed we can get to that one. So we'll have updates on that probably next 2 weeks, right here in MCF. Guys, thank you for rocking with us, dropping your knowledge in the chat, literally all night long, all week long, and we'll be doing this again next week as we get closer and closer to training camp, guys. Can't wait. And again, truly thank you all for your drops of love from above, interaction. That's what makes this the MCF experience. And we do this on the nightly. We try to, at least, here for now, 6 years and beyond, guys. Thank you on that side. Now, this week, this night comes to an end. We got the Snug X Championship over the Jason Renfro Championship next week. And as we move on, baby, as we shut it down, relock and reload, a new week tomorrow for another one here on My Cowboys Family. What do we got to do before we drop out of here for the night?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. The beat's been dropped. It's a wrap right here on MCF, guys. And as I always try to remind my fantastic Dallas Cowboy family here, remind every Eagle fan in your life that basic mathematics matter. 5 is always greater than 1. Those are facts, guys. Cry, Eagles, cry. Love it.
And Jason, over everything members get, obviously everything included in the star membership and all that, but they also get the chance once a month to basically do a live stream with yours truly. Yeah,
guys, you get to be on the show with us and just be part of the news with us. You get your 2 cents first. You say what you want to talk about when it comes to our Cowboys for that live show. It's a fun new thing we're doing here. Trying it, right? They gave us an option. Why not? Thank you for those that are in it. We don't have a member there yet, so maybe we'll have a first soon. We'll see.
Speaking to the future.
Yeah, future. Guys, thank you once again. Of course, they get all the other stuff that all the other levels get. And you got over everything membership. Guys, right here in MCF, another one in the books here, Cowboys Chat. We talked about all of this here. Offensive, heavy. But we touched a lot on Mukuamu, what we're going to see. Zeke, probably not coming to Big D. We'll see. We'll see what happens, guys. A long way to go still. 3.5 weeks before training camp kicks off. Right here in MCF, you know the deal, guys. That navy blue, silver 2 star over everything. Never forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone. Have a very good and safe night. We'll see you back here tomorrow or the next day for another one. Peace out. Much love to all. And never, ever, 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 never, ever forget. Go Cowboys!